Thomas Paine, Thomas Paine, Thomas Paine, Sam Adams, Sam Adams, Sam Adams, Benjamin Franklin, Benjamin Franklin, Benjamin Franklin. These men spoke up for what they thought was right. From their courage came such documents as the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution of the United States. From their willingness to speak what was sometimes unpopular but right, we enjoy such liberties as freedom of speech, the right to keep and bear arms, and freedom of religion. There are those who still wish to oppress our freedoms, and there are still patriots willing to stand up and defend life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Men like Zeb Bell, who honor our founding fathers and what they stood for. It's now time for Zeb at the ranch, speaking up and defending your freedoms. Brought to you by Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers and all of the other great advertisers on the program. And now, Zeb Bell.
I was reading some of the facts about how people lived back in the 1500s. I thought you'd be interested in this. Most people got married in June. Why? Because they took their yearly bath in May, and they still smelled pretty good by June. However, since they were starting to smell just a little bit, brides carried a bouquet of flowers to hide the body odor. Hence the custom of carrying a bouquet when getting married. This is true. Oh, boy. Good morning, everybody. Here comes Kate Smith, and God bless America, followed by a patriot with our Pledge of Allegiance. Good morning. Good morning. Thank you very much, Kate Smith, and God bless America. Welcome to Zeb at the Ranch. I'm Zeb Bell with your major sponsor, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. All 7 locations serving you. Great big spring tire sale going on right now. We also want to acknowledge some of our great advertisers, including Ramsey Heating and Electric at 2600 Overland Avenue in Burley, and our friends at Valleywide Home and Ranch, 910 South Oneida in Rupert. Everything for the farm, the home, and the ranch at Valleywide Home and Ranch. Right now, let's say good morning to our Pledge of Allegiance person. Good morning. Are you there?
I am.
Well, would you give us the pledge, please?
I will do so. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You did a very nice job. Thank you so much for calling in this morning.
Thank you. Have a good day.
You too. Thank you very much. Right now, let's take a look at the weather forecast, and then we're going to have the Burley Livestock Report, so stand by. But first and foremost, Cheney Flooring and Home Design at 1228 Oakley Avenue in Burley. The number to call, 678-6945. Look for the blue door. They're open Monday through Friday, 9 to 6, Saturdays from 10 to 4, and they've got all your carpet and flooring and kitchen construction, home decor needs, really at Cheney Flooring and Home Design. They have whatever you need to make your house a home. They are really nice people. Lots of newly refurbished furniture at Cheney Flooring and Home Design, 1228 Oakley Avenue in Burley. And right now, here's my buddy, Michael Rogers, with the weather.
Good morning. The worst of it is done. You're going to see a lot of sun, very little clouds, warming temperatures with the exception of Saturday, where there is a slight chance of rain. But we're done with the big storm that has passed over us. And now we get ready to have ourselves a nice weekend. To keep you advised on what's going on throughout the rest of the country, if you have loved ones extending from the Ohio Valley into northeast Texas, there is the first of basically a lot of tornado outbreaks that this country gets this time of year. The first one's going to be taking place sometime today going into tonight. Tornado outbreak versus a regular tornado. You're looking at a minimum of about 25 tornadoes all touching down on the ground at once. Last year, this time, there were a total of 88 in one day. And that's what they're dealing with in the middle section of the country, extending down from Ohio all the way down into northeast Texas. So if you have loved ones there and are concerned about what's going on there, be advised that is what is happening right now. and it's not going to get any better for them because it's all going to be rain, lightning, thunderstorm, hail, and, of course, the possibility of tornadoes. Other than that, you have yourself a great weekend and enjoy the weather. It's the only weather you got.
Michael, great weather forecast. Thank you very much. Brought to everybody by Cheney Flooring and Home Design, 1228 Oakley Avenue in Burley. Number to call 678-6945 and look for the blue door. Right now it's time for Merv May. Come on in here, Merv.
All right, it gets the steer calves there here to get $31, 31 going out, 30.
That is the chant of the world's best auctioneer, and that's Merv May over at the Burley Livestock Sale Yard, and sale day today starting at 10 a.m. And by the way, too, don't forget, if you've got questions about the cattle going through the ring or consignments, 678-9411, Merv May, Cade, Rogge, Lance, Udy, all of them there to serve you. Once again, sale time today, 10 a.m. Here is a partial run of what's going to go through the ring today. Ted Tracy up at Elmo bringing in a semi-load of 600-pounders. Steve Thompson over to Raft River. Hello, Steve. 20 head of 750-pound heifers. Dale Price over at Malad bringing in 23 head of yearlings. Kelly Searle over to Burley, 20 head of 700-pound heifers. Moo Mountain Dairy, East Ridge Dairy, South Ridge Dairy, all bringing in a total of about 150 butcher cows. P-Bar S Dairy over to Malda, 2 semi-loads of cows coming in. And look who's going to town today. Big Dave Zanino and the Split Butte Ranch, 20 head of 700-pound heifers. Going to be a ripping good sale today at the Burley Livestock Sale Yard. 10 a.m. this morning, sale time, 1100 Occidental Avenue in Burley. Number to call, 678-9411. Merv, sell those steers, would you please?
All right, it gets the steer calves there here to get $31, 31 going out, 32, 2 1/2, 3 1/2, 134, 4 1/2, 5 1/2, 5 1/2, 130, 550, 135 1/2, $7.35. Zeb Bell, get the bottom again.
Oh, well, I tell you what, I'd still take that price. Good morning, everybody, and welcome. And did you hear about the fight? Big argument between a Florida boyfriend and girlfriend. I guess it got really out of hand. She was mad at him, and then he really got mad at her, and then she really got steamed at him, and she marched out of the house and came back a few moments later, and she was carrying some bleach. And she poured it into his pet goldfish tank, and in no time at all, the fish turned into a floater, dead. And then he, the boyfriend, turned her, the girlfriend, into the authorities, and now the girlfriend is up on felony animal abuse charges. All of this over a dead goldfish. Look out. Calls are welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Ramsey Heating and Electric at 2600 Overland Avenue in Burley. Open 7:30 to 5, Monday through Friday, and they've got all your light bulbs. You do not have to live in the dark. You do not have to live in very dim entrances to your home. You can see the light. Stop in and get all the light bulbs you need. All the fluorescent lights, everything, all the colors, all the ballasts, all the repair parts, everything, wire, fuses, cords, you know it's all there. They have all your heating and electrical needs at Ramsey Heating and Electric, 2600 Overland Avenue in Burley, where they provide warm winters and cool summers at Ramsey Heating and Electric. You know, in the opening we were telling you about Valley White Home and Ranch, and a little bit later on this morning we're going to have the lovely Mandy from Valley White on our program. I want to remind everybody, too, that Valley White is getting ready, and they are ready for all your spring needs for fertilizer, mulch, bark, whatever, to clean up, fix up, and really beautify your yards. And I want to stress again this morning that Valley White Home and Ranch has all the 4-H supplies and all the feed in stock, and 4-Hers all receive a 10% discount. And another thing, too, Fishermen do not remember this sometimes. They've got all your fishing supplies. They have a great big section of all the fishing rods, reels, all the line, all the lures, everything, including selling you the licenses too, right over there at Valley Wide Home and Ranch. 910 South Oneida in Rupert, and Sean and Mandy taking care of you along with the rest of the crew. Number to call, 436-0141. Valley Wide Home and Ranch. All right, give us a call, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. A big hooray and lots of kudos to the new University of Michigan football coach. You remember him as the former San Francisco 49er coach, Jim Harbaugh. Well, he is really taking over the University of Michigan. In some respects, a lot of people hate him right now this morning. And in other respects, a lot of people are cheering him. Here's what happened. The politically correct crowd, there's a group on campus that demanded, a little bitty group of PC people, politically correct, demanded that the college, the University of Michigan, not show the movie American Sniper about Chris Kyle's life. And this politically correct crowd, oh no, we can't have anything about military on our campus. We can't have anything about Chris Kyle. And then they stated Chris Kyle was a racist. Ooh. That did not set well with many, many families, many, many students, and it didn't set well with the football coach, Jim Harbaugh. So what Harbaugh said and did was this. He said, wait a minute, Chris Kyle was not a racist. Chris Kyle was a very valuable American that fought for his country. And so if the university doesn't want to show the movie American Sniper, I will. And basically, even before football season gets started or spring drills, Jim Harbaugh put himself in the target, and he said, if the university backs down to you PC people, I'll show the film. Well, the university has spent a lot of money. I mean, literally millions and millions to get Jim Harbaugh there as football coach. And the university backed down away from the PC crowd and backed Jim Harbaugh. And believe me, they are going to show the movie. And that is exactly why I put Jim Harbaugh up on a pedestal this morning, because he literally spit in the eye of the PC crowd and said, back off, we are going to show it. Chris Kyle was an excellent American soldier. PC crowd, go away. What are your thoughts? Give me a call, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. While I'm waiting for your call that I know is coming in, don't forget our dear friends at Denny's Restaurant, 611 Overland in Burley. Delicious food, and we're going to get a chance to have more of it on the 23rd with Zeb's Lunch Bunch over there. And there will be a very special event tied to Lunch Bunch on the 23rd. I urge you not to miss it. I'll have more details starting next Monday. A very special event. You can stop in anytime for breakfast, lunch, and dinner at Denny's Restaurant. And they've got another new location at 291 Pole Line Road in Twin Falls. Just had the grand opening, too. Excellent food, really nice people. At Denny's Restaurant, you stop in and see them today. And real quick, too, I want to talk about equipment with Barry Equipment and Rental. Now, many, many times we get Eli or Nick or the crew on the phone here to talk about all the equipment. They have the equipment to get the job done and get it done right. Barry Equipment and Rental with 3 locations, South Lincoln in Jerome, Addison Avenue West in Twin Falls, and the new location at 159 West Highway 30 in Burley. They've got all your Bobcat compact equipment, and they've got all the skid steers, the excavators, utility vehicles, and great financing programs. So please get a hold of them today at 3 locations, Addison Avenue West, Twin Falls, South Lincoln and Jerome, and 159 West Highway 30 in Burley with Nick and the crew. You can call Nick 678-7368. Barry Equipment and Rental. Really good folks. All right, give me a call. What do you think about Jim Harbaugh and not kowtowing to the PC crowd and basically just saying, well, if the university won't show it, I will, and I really admire him for that. All right, give me a call, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. It looks like the Sarnoff brother that was arrested and his brother was killed in an arrest attempt, the Boston Bombers. The remaining Sarnoff brother, was convicted yesterday, found guilty on 30 felony charges. And he may get life in prison, and I understand that where they may imprison him would be completely in an underground facility. That person will never see the light of day again if he gets life in prison. Or he might get the death penalty. My question to you is, please respond to this. If you were on the jury and or the judge and had one of the deciding ballots as to what would happen to this young man for a very heinous crime against society, what would you choose? Would you choose life in prison or would you choose the death penalty? Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Well, I think if you're going to be held in the bottom layer of the jail and not see daylight again, I think that death penalty would be a lot more kind.
Okay, now, Chris, I'm not criticizing you, but I want to have you give me a definition of why you would even consider the word kind to someone like Sarnoff.
Well, I don't know that we need to be kind to him at all. But the problem is even at that, he has very little soul. But to reside all by yourself in a dark cell at the bottom of the pit, even he could go nuts and do himself in, I suppose.
I'm really, in this case, torn about the death penalty. I kind of agree with you, and I've been an advocate of the death penalty for heinous crimes. But as was described to me by a person that works for a think tank back in Washington, D.C., they told me that the facility... I got it. Dr. History's on the phone from China. So, Chris, I'll wrap this up real quick. They told me that living underground absolutely might be one of the most, like you said, justifiable treatments for this man that caused so much misery to so many people.
Yeah. Anyway, if he had the choice to choose, or if it was me, I think I'd just put a bullet in me.
I will put that down. Chris, God bless you, and I understand your patience for letting me cut this call short. Thank you.
No, you go ahead. Bye.
Ladies and gentlemen, with us all the way from mainland China, I believe, is my dear friend, Dr. Ken Turner, better known as Dr. History. Good morning, Doctor.
He hung up.
Oh, no!
Yeah, I don't know what happened. I told him that I would have you take the caller real fast and that I would put him through. And I looked over at the phone, and it said extension incomplete. So I don't know what happened, but he was on the phone a moment ago.
Well, hopefully Dr. History will try back. I know that the time difference and I know the day difference is extreme, and please don't anybody ask me and try to explain the time and the date line and everything else. I can't. But if he calls back in just a few moments, put him on right away.
I will.
All right, thank you. Well, that's a shame. And anytime you're talking about calls from overseas, anything and everything can happen. So we'll see if he can give us a call back. We'd love to hear from him. In the interim, we just had Chris call a moment ago and say that possibly living underground would be much more torturous for the rest of your life after being convicted of these crimes. What about you? How would you vote if you were on the jury and or the judge deciding providing the penalty after what he and his brother did to just absolutely destroy many, many people's lives with that Boston bombing. How would you vote on that? Life imprisonment, underground, in a little solitary cell, or the death penalty? Caller, I'll be right there. Please don't go away. Gano Landscaping and Sprinkler Service. Don't forget Scott Gano and the rest of his crew at 336 South, 450 West of Paul, 438-2485, the number to call. They can prune all your trees. They know all about trees. Scott grew up knowing about all trees. And they, of course, can put in your sprinkler system or revamp your old one. They are good. They put in a neat sprinkler system for my arena. Really appreciate them. Scott Gano Landscaping and Sprinkler Service, 438-2485. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Yeah, firing squad, no blindfold, no earplugs.
That's plain and simple. You think he deserves the firing squad right away?
Absolutely.
Well, I'll put you down. Now we got 1 and 1 for each, firing squad or the death penalty or the life in prison. And Fred, my friend, it's good to hear from you. God bless you. Thank you.
You bet.
All right, take care. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning. You know my stance. Why feed him? Why take care of him? Blow him away.
You know, the cost, I don't know what the cost would be in that solitary confinement underground facility, but I believe the average cost of housing a prisoner is about $60,000 a year. This young man, I think, is under 23, under 22, and the years of his life, possibly another 40 years at that kind of money. I agree with you, Helen. Thank you so much.
Well, not only that, but why prolong it? Get rid of him.
Yeah.
It's no good. He'll never be anything to society.
Well, and really, there shouldn't be a chance to go back into society after he did as a terrorist.
Right.
All right, Helen. Thank you so much. Thank you. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning, Zeb.
Yes, sir.
I would wrap him in a pigskin, do it publicly so all Muslims that kill Christians or anybody in a terror act like this knows they're going straight to HE double toothpicks, and I would do away with him.
So you're a proponent of the death penalty in this case?
In the most severe manner, and I would publicize it to the world that he was going to hell and nowhere else.
I got to admit that I had a chance to talk to some of the victims in that Boston bombing, and I had one on our program about a year ago. And Jerry, the crime, how heinous it was, and the way that the people were wounded and everything, it was just absolutely atrocious. I agree with you. Thank you, Jerry, for your call.
Have a wonderful day, and may the Lord bless.
He already has. Thank you very much. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Well, they need to get a pressure cooker, fill it full of nails, tie him to it, and blow it up. Immediately.
You know, Bob, I think there's a lot to what you said, even though I think a little bit of it was facetious. I think that what you said is the punishment to suit the crime, and I have no sympathy. I have no caring for this young man as to whatever his age is or whatever possible future. He got involved in terrorist acts to hurt, maim, and kill people. A little boy 8 years old is laying in the grave right now because of his actions, along with others, and I have no sympathy for him.
Well, it's, the little boy in the grave, he's better off. But all these people that were maimed and everything, the legs pulled off and all this stuff, that is the most terrible thing, and that's what this guy ought to have. It should start from just below his waist and go up. Get what I mean?
I've got your...
Have a good day.
All right, Bob. Thank you very much. I appreciate your call. Callers are welcome. And right now, give me more calls on this. I want to hear this because... Yeah, sir.
All right. Sorry to interrupt, but Dr. History is on now.
Okay, I'll tell you what. We're going to have to revamp everything, so bear with me, Wheels. We'll put Dr. History on real quick, and then we'll do everything that was scheduled for the bottom of the hour right after his call, okay? All right. Good morning, Dr. History in China. My dear friend, how are you?
I am doing great. It's about 10:30 in the morning here, or no, 10:30 at night on Thursday night, and we have traveled from Beijing down to see the Terracotta Warriors.
Okay.
And anyway, that's our plan for tomorrow, and anyway, it's been interesting to be over here, Zeb.
Yeah, Dr. History, I know we got short time, but I want to ask you a couple of quick questions. What about the Great Wall of China? I don't know what it's like because I've never been to China, but you were very impressed with it. Is that right?
I was so amazed. We went to a place outside of Beijing about 2 hours, and the immensity, how high it is, how steep it is up and down, and to think that those men carried stone after stone clear up to the top of these mountains is an amazing thing. I've seen pictures before and I've read about it, but to actually see it is truly an amazing thing that these Chinese people did.
All right, now,
that's probably the most impressive thing I have seen.
All right, now, Dr. History, what about meeting with the Chinese groups, the students that have been listening to our segment called Dr. History? Give us a quick analysis of how that went.
Okay. That went really well. We had a very good lecture, probably 300 students. I went to their classes. I had a picture of you and I at the Christmas party that I showed them, and those students now know what you look like.
Oh, boy.
So that's good, right? And I think I mentioned to you, they made a presentation to me, and they actually gave something for me to give to you.
Oh.
So when I get back, I will bring you something that they wanted you to have.
Tell us, Dr. History, when you were speaking to these students, what's the language barrier, or do most of them speak English?
Where I was speaking was the English learning department, so these kids are learning English, and for me to be there personally was easier for them to understand than when we do the podcast or when we do the broadcast. And I talked with a lot of them, and their English is really quite good. So it went very well, really.
Okay. Now, I got to ask you, I know a lot of the farmers probably are wondering the same thing. They're out in their fields here planting, and everything's going well for spring. What is the weather right now in China where you're at currently?
It is springtime, and the crops growing. I don't know what they are, but as I traveled down here by bullet train, I saw a lot of farm ground, thousands and thousands of acres. I saw two, what you might call tractors, two.
Uh-huh.
And those weren't really even tractors. So everything is done so much by hand labor. It's pretty interesting to see so many things that are still done by manual labor.
Okay, do they have an irrigation system, or again, is it like all the handset with the tubes, etc.? What do they do to irrigate?
You know, I could not tell. I saw a little bit of water in one field. I see no irrigation systems, no tubes, no circulars, anything like that.
Now,
so I don't know how they irrigate their crops, or if they just plan on rainfall. I don't know.
Okay, now what about the food? I know a lot of the people are saying Dr. History used to having cheeseburgers and fries. What are you doing to survive over there?
Today at noon I had pizza. I just got back from dinner at McDonald's. Does that tell you?
So are you enjoying yourself?
Yes, I am. Yes, it's been an amazing experience.
And what's been the hardest thing for you to adapt to during your stay over in China?
I think the hardest thing for a farm boy is to be among thousands and thousands of people every day. And so I'm anxious to get back out to the old farm and the river and just kind of be away from from so many people.
What about transportation now? Is it basically all automobiles, mass transit, rickshaws? What is it?
Mass transit and bicycle, subway and bicycle. I've done a lot of bicycling the last week.
Okay. And the time frame difference, you got to explain that. Now, what time and literally what day is it where you are right now?
Right now it is Thursday night at about, let's see, it's about 10:30, yeah.
Okay.
At night, 10:35.
All right.
About a 14-hour difference.
And so you were telling me real quick, the last thing I'll ask you right now is when you fly home with the time difference and going across the date line and everything, it actually works out to where it's only going to be a 2-hour difference. Is that correct?
Right. It's a 2-hour flight. I leave at noon on Tuesday, and I get there about 2:30 in Boise.
Oh, my.
Unfortunately, I'm flying for about 20 hours.
Okay, well, Dr. History, God bless you. And when will you be back on the air again so we can go over this?
Let's see, a week from Tuesday.
A week from Tuesday. Well, our very best to you. God's blessings to you, and I can't wait to get you on the air, and we'll even get special time that day to go over the whole trip, longer than what you normally have.
All right. You have a good day, Zeb.
God bless you, my friend. Thank you so much.
You bet.
Oh, my goodness. He called me yesterday, and it was shocking, really. I just got home. Had to run up to Pocatello yesterday afternoon, and the phone rang, and he says, "Hi, Zeb, this is Dr. History." And I said, "Are you home?" He sounded like he was right here in the Magic Valley, and he says, "No, I'm over in China. I just finished going to the Great Wall of China." And the connection was absolutely superb, and then he started telling me about the trip and everything, and about all the students, and so when he gets home and on the air in 2 weeks, we're going to do a special program to tell all about Dr. History's trip to China. I am late. Stand by. Don't forget Penetron Soil Conditioner by Maisie, with a 21-year proven record of increasing yield and quality of all Idaho crops, speeding germination, reducing crusting, improving stand, stimulating root growth and microbial activity, and it saves on irrigation water, which is going to save you money. Penetron treated crops have better roots that reduce stress for water and nutrients. So, increase your crops' performance with a proven soil conditioner, Penetron by Maisie. Get the original, you bet, not the cheap imitations. You contact your crop advisor today to obtain Penetron by Maisie soil conditioner, or call my dear friend Dr. Adrian Arp at 734-2255 for additional information. We're late on our Capital Press Ag Minute, brought to you by Mount Harrison Audiology, with our lovely Doctor of Audiology, Christine Pickup, and she's located at 1218 9th Street, Unit 2, right behind the Minidoka Hospital, across from the emergency room. Check on a hearing screening today. This lady can help your hearing. Call 312-0957 for an appointment today. Here now, the Capital Press Ag Minute.
Today's Ag Minute brought to you by the Capital Press, the West Ag Weekly. Indiscriminate shooting or trapping of wolves and coyotes is a bad idea, and producers should strive for balance in the rangeland ecosystem, says Temple Grandin, the Colorado State University livestock handling and animal welfare expert. Grandin, whose insights on animal behavior cause livestock slaughterhouses to adopt calmer and more humane handling methods, believes ranchers can help cattle relearn predator defense instincts, such as bunching up instead of running. Grandin said wolves and coyotes usually avoid areas where people are present, and that employing range riders is an effective deterrent. Removing livestock carcasses from grazing areas is critical to avoid attracting predators and giving them a taste for livestock. For the Capital Press Ag Minute, this is Brandon Tenner. For more agriculture news and information, turn to the West Ag Weekly, the Capital Press, and capitalpress.com.
Brought to you by Mount Harrison Audiology and Hearing Aids. Christine Pickup, Doctor of Audiology. Please take my advice and call her for a hearing screening. I am so glad I went through that process and found out I had some problems with my left ear and my hearing. You'd better check it out, too. I had a caller yesterday call me and say, what a great idea to go there to Mount Harrison Audiology, 312-0957. Oh, boy, we're running a little bit late. Have patience. We need some more callers. How would you vote? How would you, if you were on the jury for that Sarnoff brother that was convicted on 30 different felony charges, would you vote for the death penalty or life imprisonment? Please give me a call and explain why. Don't forget our friends at Ramsey Heating and Electric, along with Lennox, offering rebates on qualified Lennox home comfort systems. Whether it's a gas furnace, air conditioner, or heat pump, your family will enjoy the comfort. Please give them a call, 678-0459. Ramsey Heating and Electric with Lennox, saving you money and providing warm winters and cool summers. Woo! Give us a call, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. By the way, I forgot to mention that Dr. History is brought to you on Tuesdays by our dear friends at Minnecasia Sales, 1321 East Main in Burley, right across from the airport. Zach and Joanne, all your spring remodeling needs and projects, lumber packages, all your shingles for a brand new roof, all your windows to upgrade. I'm telling you, they got it all, along with Tartar Farm and Ranch equipment. Minnecasia Sales, bringing you Dr. History on Tuesdays at 10:06, and they're located at 1321 East Main Street in Burley. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning, Jeb.
Yes, sir.
Pat Harbaugh on the back and praise him because, man, that's what we need as coaches. Now, on your death penalty and that, I would vote for it, yes. But don't take 30 years to take and carry out the process.
Well, I agree with that, and I appreciate your call on that this morning. So you're a proponent of the death penalty?
Yes.
And no appeals after. I would give them one appeal for the legality of the situation, but not to be extended any longer, I would say, than 24 months at the maximum 2 years.
Right.
All right, sir. Thank you very much.
Have a good one.
Thank you. I think that the death penalty has been abused. I think it's been lessened. I think it's been watered down. I think the punishment to our most severe criminals has been almost turning them into a resort atmosphere. And in this case, where this young man committed this crime, along with his brother as terrorists, to hurt, maim, murder, and kill, I have absolutely no sympathy for this young man, and I guess maybe in my heart of hearts, I want him to suffer for such a long, long time in what he did to hurt all these other people. All the injuries, all the severity of their injuries, legs blown off, arms blown off, people died. I just want this young man to suffer. Revenge? No. The law? Yes. Calls are welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Give me a call. Streamline Precision at 120 South 100 West of Burley, next to Dot Foods. Call Tim at 431-7314 for estimates on what you need. And by the way, I said this yesterday. Tim called me the other night, and we had a good visit. They, at Streamline Precision, have the equipment to handle your dirt hauling needs. I'm not talking the little bitty trucks. I'm talking the big dump trucks, the side dump trucks. Caller, I'll be right there. Don't forget to stay on the line. Big side dump trucks to handle all your dirt moving, and they've got the big rigs to handle all your big farm rigs moving from field to field, farm to farm. They can get the job done. And by the way, right now they're putting up a lot of grain bins for on-the-farm storage. They're an authorized dealer in Sioux Cup, Chief, Balin, and Nucor buildings. They are the best. Again, call Tim, 431-7314 for all your estimates. Streamline Precision, 120 South, 100 West of Burley, the building professionals. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Yeah, I agree 100% with one of your earlier callers that said wrap in a pigskin and then hang him high.
Well, so you're voting for the death penalty, right?
Yeah.
All right. I've got 6 in favor of the death penalty, 2 in favor of life imprisonment. Thank you for your call, sir. I appreciate that. More calls are welcome. 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Zeb, it's Bob again. I fear that if that guy gets life imprisonment, Obama will turn him loose within the next 2 years.
You know, it's really interesting you should say that, because I was in a conversation this morning on the telephone before this show, and another gentleman completely out of this area brought that up to me, that the way Obama is going and the way that he's had such a absolute lunatic attitude towards crime and punishment, that was brought up earlier this morning, and I can't discard your thoughts, Bob. Thank you.
Talk to you later.
You bet, buddy. Thank you very much. You know, talking about Obama, real quick before I go to my weather forecast, I was listening to a gentleman from the National Ministers Taking a Stand organization. And this gentleman was a black minister that absolutely was extremely vocal against Obama and how he has treated Christians. And he is outraged over the way that Obama has supported and shown kindness to the Muslims, but shown animosity and slamming of Christianity. And this pastor this morning is upset, and he said his National Ministers Taking a Stand organization is going to fight back. Amen. Calls are welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Holy buckets, am I late. Red's Trading Post, 203 Fifth Avenue South in Twin Falls, with Ryan Horsley and his very, very accomplished staff. They know all about guns, ammo, and accessories and can help you. Red's Trading Post in historic Old Town Twin Falls since 1936. And right now here is Michael Rogers weather.
Hello, everyone. Michael Rogers is up at the ranch. The worst is over. We got sun. We got a lot of sun. Might kick in a few clouds, but basically the worst is done. We will see nice weather warming up through the weekend. Slight chance of rain on Saturday. But we're done with the big storm. We're done with the winds. We're done with the cooler temperatures. Done. Enjoy the day. Enjoy the weekend. Enjoy the weather. It's the only weather you've got.
Well, I guess we're done. All right. Red's Trading Post, 203 Fifth Avenue South in Twin Falls. Ryan Horsley and the rest of the crew. The best of guns, ammo, and accessories at Red's Trading Post. You stop in and see them today, bringing you Michael Rogers weather. Woo! Give us a call, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. The death penalty or life in prison. And I'm a little bit tentative about going towards the life in prison, even if they tell us that they're going to put him underground in a solitary cell. Even if they tell us he will have the bare amenities of staying alive. I still don't trust the prison system, the way it can be skewed by politicians and perhaps even the president. That's why I still am leaning towards the death penalty for that very heinous act that he and his brother committed against those innocent people at the Boston Marathon. Your thoughts, give me a call, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Hey, all the activity's been going since yesterday, and it's going to continue on all through the weekend at the 43rd Annual Salmon Select Horse and Mule Sale up at the Lemhi County Fairgrounds in Salmon. Oh, my mule clinics, wolf howling contest, horsemanship clinics, ranch horse competition, trail horse competitions, memorial mule race, cow cutting, barrel racing, team roping. Woo, how are they going to get it all in? Well, I'll tell you what, and then on Friday night at 6:30, the big mule sale, and then on Saturday at 1 p.m., the great big horse sale, and then Sunday, the big team roping. Oh, my, call Fred Snook for more information at 756-2125 up at the 43rd Annual Salmon Select Horse and Mule Sale at the Lemhi County Fairgrounds in Salmon. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning. I vote that we kill him. He's a traitor.
All right.
Like we should do with every other traitor that is in Washington and everywhere else in the United States.
Well, as convicted felons, yes, but be real careful about the verbiage as far as acts of violence against innocent people and or anyone else. Got to be real careful about that. Thank you, sir.
Isn't the whatever, when you're a traitor, don't you get killed?
Well, you know what?
Your punishment for it?
You're bringing up a point that's another story, like with Bo Bergdahl. If they can prove more than the deserter and they can go into the traitor aspect of this, there are a lot of people that are saying the death penalty for that soldier. So, yes, I agree with you.
Oh. Okay.
All right, sir. Have a good...
I still say we ought to get rid of them both.
All right, sir. Thank you very much for your call. Appreciate it. Calls welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. There's another story I wanted to get in here this morning real quick, and it, in a way, goes along with the story about the Sarnoff brother. This is almost to the point of being so pathetic. Listen carefully to this, and I'm going to give a short synopsis of it. There was a really bad dude years ago that walked up to a policeman in Philadelphia, and this great big black guy walked up to this cop, pulled a gun out, and bang! Shot him right between the eyes and killed him. Well, he was arrested and sent to prison. He is a bad, bad dude. Okay? Okay, now move forward to today. This bad guy, this killer, has diabetes. And the word got out that he has diabetes. And a New Jersey third grade teacher made her class as an assignment and told the students to send get well cards to this former convicted cop killer. What kind of a society are we having right now, especially back on the East Coast? Why would a third grade teacher, as a class assignment, tell her students to, send this convicted cop killer get well messages? What about the family? What about the children of the family of the policeman that was shot and killed? Why not remember them? But to send a get well message to a killer, we have a very sick society. Coming up this Saturday, don't forget Rogge Auction. Oh my goodness, my old buddy Cade is going to really, along with the rest of the Rogge Auction crew, have a wonderful, great big spring consignment sale. And it's going to start at 10 o'clock in the morning at the Minidoka County Fairgrounds in Rupert. Oh my, and tomorrow is the last day for consignments. I mean, they are getting some ripping good equipment, all kinds of really good items. So please get a hold of them. Ron Rogge at 431-6187 or Cade Rogge at 431-0074. This is going to be a dandy sale. Go to their website, RoggeAuction.com, for more of an update on the items. And that sale is going to be at this Saturday at 10 o'clock at the Minidoka County Fairgrounds. Don't you miss it. Whew. Calls are welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. One other little story that I wanted to throw at you this morning, and to end this on a little bit of a lighter note for the first hour. The citizens of a small Missouri town have a small problem this morning. They just had the elections for mayor in their town, and guess what? The incumbent mayor that had held that office won again. However, he had died over a month ago. They evidently didn't do a real good job of advertising that the mayor had croaked, because now they've got a problem this morning. We all voted him back in. He can't do the job because he died 30 days ago. What do you do? Okay. Calls are welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Give me a call. I'd love to hear what your response is going to be to that one. Oh, big spring tire sale at your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, all 7 locations. Oh, they've got all your tires for all your safe driving. And everybody has different driving trends, etc., and different needs. Well, they've got the the tires that will best befit your situation. You stop in, and they've also got the best tire value promise in the industry with very convenient credit for tires and services. That's your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. And then, of course, don't forget the best brake value promise in the industry. Front end alignment, shocks and struts. And they've got a lot of the new custom wheels on sale and batteries. It's all there. All there for you and your safe driving at your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. With Lane and Rupert, Dave on Blue Lakes and Twin, Mike and Buell, Mike and Jerome, the Twist family in Paul, John on Pauline in Twin Falls, and Randy on Overland in Burley. The best. Your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. Good morning, caller. You're on the air. Thank you.
I agree about filling up a pressure cooker with the same material that he used. As far as an appeal, when you've got so much evidence, you've got the proof on camera, everything else, he should be entitled to the same punishment that he sentenced that 8-year-old kid to in the security guard, and not waste the taxpayer's dollar giving him an appeal, because it's clear. And it wouldn't take long if you'd done that to the criminals that done that kind of stuff. They would slow down doing it.
I agree with your point of view. Thank you, sir. God bless you for your call. I appreciate it. Thank you. Caller, good morning. You're on the air. Go ahead.
Good morning, Ted. That mayor that won the election, which was no longer alive, must not have been doing a very lively job when he was there.
Well, either that or he has one heck of a campaign promise that he's going to keep serving the people even after he's dead.
Well, he must really be beloved, but somebody must have figured out he was dead.
Well, yeah, it would really be tough to stand there on the courthouse stairs and somebody turns around and introduces him and he's not there. And I certainly hope he wouldn't show up under those conditions either.
Maybe he left a note saying, I'm putting this on cruise control. Just keep doing all I was doing, and you'll be fine.
Keith, I got to run. Thank you so much. God bless you, man. Thanks.
Yeah, bye.
Oh, yeah. Got to have a little lightness. Good morning, everybody, and we appreciate your calls, as always, on Zeb at the Ranch. The next hour is going to be a busy one. We've got the Chamber Report. We've got Dog Nation. We've got Rita Ramsey. We've got everything. Staying right here on Zeb at the Ranch for the rest of the 3 hours this morning. And we appreciate your calls, and we're going to take a little break right now and listen to the big boys from CBS News. I'll be back in 6. Don't go away. Oh, good morning. Welcome back. Hour number 2 on a Thursday. Nice looking day outside so far. Zeb at the Ranch with our major sponsor, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, and all of our great advertisers, including some of them like Ramsey Heating and Electric at 2600 Overland Avenue in Burley for all your electrical and heating needs. And, of course, Valley-Wide Home and Ranch. We're going to be talking to them a little bit later on, 910 South Oneida in Rupert. Everything, and I mean everything, for the farm, the home, and the ranch at Valley-Wide Home and Ranch. I know that, thank you very much, Wheels. I know that we've got Kay Cameron from the Chamber of Commerce waiting. Kay, just a moment. I'll be right with you. Don't forget Hanson Mortuary at 710 6th Street in Rupert with Joel Heward. What a wonderful family and staff serving you and your family in a time of real need to have somebody kind of step in and guide you through all the processes of saying goodbye to that loved one. Always with the highest ethical standards, with unquestioned integrity. Hanson Mortuary, 710 6th Street in Rupert. The number to call, 436-5636. Hanson Mortuary, serving you. Also, ladies and gentlemen, before we get Kay on the phone this morning, I want to remind you and thank you to Cheney Flooring and Home Design at 1228 Oakley Avenue in Burley. Every morning when we start the show at 8:07, they come on with the weather forecast from MichaelRogersWeather.com, and we thank them very much. They're open Monday through Friday, 9 to 6, and Saturdays, 10 to 4. Don't forget, for the best of carpet, flooring, kitchen construction, whatever you need to make your house a home, Cheney Flooring and Home Design, 1228 Oakley Avenue in Burley. Look for the blue door. Oh, and by the way, too, if you're hungry, well, we'll tell you about that in just a little bit. I don't want to have her wait any longer. She's going to get mad at me. And good morning, Kay Cameron at the Minnecasia Chamber of Commerce.
Well, good morning. How are you today?
Well, it looks like, at least where I'm sitting, all I can see is blue sky, so it looks like maybe we're going to have a nice day.
I know. It's a little bit chilly, but the river's calm and the sun is shining, and it feels like it's going to be a good day.
Well, now, okay, here we are, Thursday, April 9th. What is on your menu of things to do, not only today, but through the weekend and next week?
Well, today we have our monthly chamber luncheon at Maury's Steakhouse. If anybody wants to come and join us, we'd love to have you. That begins at noon, and we will finish at 1 o'clock. So our chamber luncheon is today. We do that once a month, and so we're getting all prepared and ready for that. Community activities this weekend. Tomorrow night, you've got the Magic Philharmonic Spring Concert, and so that's always a great thing to go and participate in and listen. And you know, they've been around a long time, and we're very fortunate here in our community to have a Philharmonic and to be able to go and enjoy their performances a couple of times a year. So we look forward to that.
Kay, let me ask you a quick question. And for those in the audience that aren't sure, when you say Philharmonic, what does that mean exactly?
It means that they play a lot of fabulous instruments. I'm not a musician. I don't know exactly what defines a symphony versus a philharmonic.
Okay.
Maybe one of your listeners, maybe Keith Ramsey, he's very musical, maybe he would know. Or I'm sure other of your listeners out there know that, because I'm not, unfortunately, blessed with the musical genes in my life.
Don't apologize, because the only thing I can play is the radio.
I know that Leanne Turner, who's on my board, is involved with the Philharmonic, and there's all kinds of string instruments that are involved in it, and so I really can't answer that, but I know that their music is beautiful, and I enjoy listening to it.
That's enough right there.
That's all that matters on my end of the deal. So get out there and listen to them.
All right, now, there's also something else that I'm sure you want to highlight, and that's the women's conference, right?
Yeah, that's coming up 2 weeks from today. And so come on out and get your tickets. It's going to be a fabulous day. We've got great seminars lined up, great speakers, cooking demonstrations, lots of vendors. It's going to be a lot of fun. And so it will be on Thursday, April 23rd. And it will be, it starts at 9 a.m.
Okay.
Or no, 10 a.m. Sorry, 10 a.m. And all day long. Great things. Come in and get your tickets. It's $20 for the whole day. It includes your lunch, includes all your seminars, admission to all the vendors. I mean, it's a bargain deal for all of the things that we have to offer. So come by, pick up your tickets, and enjoy that fabulous day with us.
All right, let's kind of gaze into the future. Let's look down the road. Anything that's coming up, for the rest of the spring into the early summer that you want to highlight real quick?
Well, coming into spring and early summer, there's always a lot of things going on. We just love this time of year with all of the wonderful community activities going on and all of the great things. Coming into May, we come into the end of the school year, and we've got high school graduations coming up, and all of the great spring performances from every school club in every high school has some sort of a performance, whether it's singing, dancing, whatever their thing is. They all have some sort of performance coming up, and so support our local schools and support the activities of our youth, and support our future generations, and because that's really important. But we do have a lot of things going. I haven't really looked that far ahead to pull and pick and select anything specifically, but it's just that time of year where we have a lot of things coming up.
Absolutely. And if they have questions about where to go, what to do, what to see, what to visit, all they have to do is get a hold of the Minnecasia Chamber of Commerce, and they've got a great staff over there, headed up by Kay Cameron. And Kay, give us all the 372 ways they can get a hold of you.
Come by and see us. We're located at 1177 7th Street in Hayburn on the beautiful Snake River. Give us a call at 208-679-4793. Find us online at minnicasualchamber.com. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and connect on LinkedIn.
I appreciate that. Thank you very much, and I guess both of us better find out what Philharmonic is.
Yeah, you really threw me for a loop there because I didn't quite expect that question, but I'm going to be following up with Leanne Turner today and find out exactly.
And then you better call and inform me after you learn, okay?
Yeah, maybe I better just Google it. I could probably find it there, too. That would be faster.
All right, Kay, God bless you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Thank you. A nice lady at the Minnecasia Chamber of Commerce, the director, Kay Cameron, doing a wonderful job. Holy cow, do you know what's going on this week? It started last night, actually, and it's going to go all the way through Sunday. It's the 43rd Annual Salmon Select Horse and Mule Sale. Now you say, come on, they're not going to have a horse and a mule sale every day until Sunday. Well, there's so much more. Mule clinics, packing clinics, horsemanship clinics by Toby Lapp, wolf howling contests, ranch horse competitions, trail horse competitions, memorial mule race, cow cutting, barrel racing, and team roping. And then you ask why they've got to have so many days? It's unbelievable. Well, Friday night at 6:30, they're going to have the big mule sale, and I mean a big mule sale. And then, of course, on Saturday at 1 o'clock, the great big 43rd Annual Salmon Select Horse Sale, and then on Sunday, the big team roping. Oh, my goodness. For more information on what's a-cooking up there, you give Fred Snook a call at 756-2125. It's a happening 43rd Annual Salmon Select Horse and Mule Sale at the Lemhi County Fairgrounds in Salmon. I'm telling you, that's a lot of fun. Also, I want to remind you real quick, are you hungry? Well, I've got the special today for the Chadwick Sports Grill at 139 West Main in Burley. This sounds so good, and I am so hungry. Today they're going to have, as a special, in addition to the regular great menu, pulled pork pitas. You got to say that slow because you got to pulled pork pitas. I love that. With Hawaiian slaw, served with choice of super salad. Pulled pork pitas with Hawaiian slaw. I like that. And it's delicious. All the food is at the Chadwick Sports Grill. Wonderful surrounding, great people, always at the Chadwick Sports Grill. You stop in and see them today. As you may or may not know, there was an event that started a year ago, and it's sanctioned by the Bureau of Land Management, and it's in regards to their wild horse program. And I was really privileged last year to be a part of the Extreme Mustang Makeover that they had up in Nampa last year in July. Well, it was so successful, and the program is now going to be expanded into many, many states like Utah, Washington, Oregon, Montana, and here in Idaho, and also New Zealand. I couldn't believe this when I heard about that. And what they do is they start these horses, and I believe this weekend is going to mark the beginning of the 100-day training program. The trainers that want to sign up for this, for the competition, they get 100 days. And then they go to, in this case, Nampa, Idaho on July 24th and 25th for the big competition to see who has the best ability as a trainer and who is going to have the best horse. And I'll tell you what, last year, oh man, if you get a chance to go up and see this event, do it, because I was absolutely just awestruck by not all the horses. No, not every horse is going to be first class. Not every horse is going to compete for the championship. But the ones that did, absolutely, it amazed me as to the trainer's ability and the horse's ability. And for those that were up there last year and watched it, and I know they had many national magazines covering it and television and everything, most of the people that really knew horses, they sat back and their jaws dropped and they said, holy cow, 100 days ago, these horses have been running on the range wild, and then these trainers took them for 100 days only, and it was just absolutely amazing what was done for the top horses in that event. So if you get a chance, put it on your calendar and try to get up to Nampa for the Idaho version of the Extreme Mustang Makeover, July 24th and 25th. And I will guarantee you that you'll come out of that arena after the performances and you see the crowning of the champion, and you'll just absolutely be amazed. A lot of ability and some really good horse flesh. Got to pay some bills. Let's talk about our friends at Let's Ride, Highway 24 between Rupert and Heyburn. And they've got the Can-Am ATV side-by-sides. You better believe it. And rebates for this year, 2015, too. And by the way, also, they told us that they are having 0% interest for up to 5 years on all the 2014 last year's Kawasaki's. And when I got this note, there were only a few left, so I don't know if they've got any left or not. They were going out the door like the proverbial hotcakes. But you stop over and check out what you need. The best of four-wheelers, the best of all the accessories. They've got a fantastic service department at Let's Ride. Highway 24 between Rupert and Heyburn. Number to call, 436-4771. Definitely where the fun is sold. Really good folks over there. And while we have just a moment, I also want to acknowledge the fact that if you're over there in that area, why don't you stop in and see my friends at Cameron and Siemens Insurance, Dean Cameron, Todd Siemens, for all your life insurance, health insurance, retirement planning, and employee benefits. They know, and they're dedicated and responsive to your needs. Believe me, they can help you. All you got to do is really easy. Pick up the phone, give them a call, make an appointment, 436-4424. Make sure that you're adequately covered, 436-4424. Cameron and Siemens Insurance, the best serving you. I had another little news note, and I was going to try to get that on here this morning, but I don't know if I have a lot of time for that. I was going to talk about the water crisis down in California. So I think what I am going to do, I am going to try to make an entire segment on that this next week. There have been, who I would call very unknowledgeable people, say that with the water shortage and the rationing of water by the Governor, Jerry Brown, that some of these unknowledgeable people have said, well, we'll cut back on agriculture. Wait a minute. What are their thoughts here? The San Joaquin Valley down in California is the basic food bank to the world. And when they start talking about cutting back on agriculture, and agriculture is absolutely, if not the most important industry, it's one of the top two in the entire state of California, and for that matter, the world. And to think about cutting back and cutting off agriculture on its water supply, I hope they really consider the devastating effects that would have. And I'm going to do a special segment on that in next week's programming, so stay tuned for that. While we have just a moment here, I also want to remind you about what's going on over at Streamline Precision. These are nice people. I mean, I like working with nice people. And Tim Vaughn and the rest of the crew over at Streamline Precision, 120 South, 100 West of Burley, they are good folks. Right next to Dot Foods, as a matter of fact, another group of nice people. And they can build anything, and I'm just going to kind of jump through this a little bit. Right now, they're heavily involved in putting up grain bins for on-the-farm storage to where you can control the marketing of your crop. And don't forget, they're an authorized dealer in Sukup, Chief, Balin, and Nucor buildings. And one thing Tim told me the other day is that they, at Streamline Precision, have the big equipment to handle your dirt hauling needs with those great big side dump trucks. Oh, yeah. And also, and this is for all the farmers and everybody else that's got heavy equipment, that needs to go from one area to another, and you go, how in the world are we going to get this stuff over to point B? Hey, they can help you at Streamline Precision. They've got the big rigs for hauling your big farm equipment, rigs, and heavy equipment all over the area. So give them a call, 431-7314. That number again, 431-7314. Call for Tim at Streamline Precision, 120 South, 100 West of Burley. They are the professionals working for you. Oh, and by the way, too, you know what's going on Saturday. I got to get this in one more time. My dear friend, Cade Rogge, I'll tell you what, that is a sharp young man. And Rogge Auction Company is going to have that great big spring consignment sale at the Minidoka County Fairgrounds this Saturday. Put that down, circle it in red, at 10 a.m. starting time. And for more information, you can still get consignments, quality consignments for the sale. This is going to be a quality sale. Call Ron Rogge, at 431-6187 or Cade Rogge at 431-0074. And you can also go to their website, RoggeAuction.com, for an update. Don't forget this Saturday at 10 a.m. starting time, Minidoka County Fairgrounds in Rupert. Where in the world did all these dogs come from anyway? Holy cow. Oh, my goodness sakes. Dogs running all over the place. They're jumping up on the furniture. My goodness, they just rolled the carpet out of the kitchen. Heaven's sakes. Good morning to Minidoka Animal Control and Mr. Ken Mort.
Good morning, Zeb. How are you today?
Well, not too bad, as a matter of fact. I'm looking forward to maybe getting outside later on today and trying to get some of my chores done that I haven't been home for all week long. So what's going on? By the way, you've expanded. You're not just canine, you're also equine. What happened with the paint horse?
Actually, she has found herself a home. They are coming to get her this either Sunday or Monday.
Okay.
And they fell in love with her, and they're just getting everything squared around so that they can get down here and get her picked up.
Now, again, this was a case of animal neglect, and that's why you stepped in and took over, right?
Yeah, they were actually basically abandoned, Annette, in a pasture area.
Mm-hmm.
So we, after monitoring them and making sure that nobody was taking care of them, we stepped in, seized them, got them back up to health. I mean, with the help of a vet and rescues and the Humane Society and everything, and some local volunteers, we were able to get them taken care of and are in new homes.
Now, I really compliment you and give you kudos. I've known you since you were a little boy playing baseball for me, but I'll tell you what, you are doing a wonderful job with your position as Minidoka Animal Control. Now, the horse, you say, is in good hands. That little filly's going to be okay, right?
Yes, she is. She's actually going to be getting. They're going to start working with her when they get her home. And that's going to get her broke and start utilizing her like she needs to be done or used.
Okay, now let's get back over to the subject matter that originally we talk about on this program, and that's dogs. Now, my goodness sakes, how's the dog situation this morning?
It's doing really well. We don't have very many that are available for adoption, but we do have one that I'm featuring today. Her name is Sheena.
Sheena.
Yep, she is a German Shepherd. She's approximately 4 to 5 years old, is okay with kids and other dogs once she gets to know the dogs. She will kill cats, so if you're interested in stuff in that to help with your cat population you got out of your house.
There is more truth to that than you know, my friend. By the way, I'm going to play a little quiz with you. You named the dog Sheena. What was the name of the TV show with Sheena in the 1950s?
That's before my time.
I know, but you're always saying you know everything.
Not everything.
Oh, okay. Sheena of the Jungle.
Ah.
Yeah.
I was thinking Sheena Warrior Princess, but...
Oh, well, see, now that's too advanced for me. Now, what kind of a dog is it again?
She is a German Shepherd. She's mostly tan with a little bit of black in her.
Okay.
She does have separation anxiety, doesn't like to be left alone. And she was the one that we had seized on an animal neglect case. And we got everything taken care of, and she became property of the Minidoka Joint Powers Animal Control Shelter for us to be able to get her adopted. Annette. So if anybody is interested in her, they can contact us at the facility at 438-2200, or can contact me on my cell phone at 670-7268.
I've got a question for you, and I mean this in all seriousness. A dog like this that you said suffers from separation anxiety, wouldn't that dog make an ideal person for the teaching to be with blind folks?
Yeah, I'm sure she would. I mean, she'd make a great companion dog.
As a seeing eye dog,
yeah. Like a seeing eye dog, or even you get the disabled vets and have to need a companion dog to go with them everywhere for like PTSD, stuff like that. I think she'd make a great dog for somebody like that as well. Somebody that's going to be able to spend a lot of time with her and take her wherever they go. I mean, when she sees me, she likes to jump up on me and give me kisses. And
hold on a second. This is a big dog, isn't it?
Yes, she is.
And when you say she jumps up on you, what room do you end up in?
Normally in stuff in that, I wind up in the garage and stuff in that facility.
It's really heartwarming to hear about these dogs and everything. But the seeing eye dogs, they're always looking for good candidates, and they would be with those masters 24/7, 365.
Exactly, and also just like there was a lady and stuff in that here in Rupert who has a service dog who actually detects seizures, and is actually trained to detect what severity of the seizure they're going to have before it even hits them.
Oh my!
And knows exactly what to do in each one of those situations.
Oh my!
And I mean, a lot of people think, and these people who got these dogs don't really need them, but these dogs save people's lives.
We could do a whole segment on that sometime, Ken, if you want to. That would be absolutely outstanding to do a little bit more elaboration on that subject and just show the public how devoted and how caring and how knowledgeable these dogs really are.
They are. It's like we had a red heeler in our facility that was an owner surrender. Situations happened to where the guy couldn't keep the dog. It went to Washington or Oregon, and went into some sort of a training place up there, and they found out that this dog could actually detect breast cancer in women.
Oh my goodness sakes!
And that they could actually sense it in their body and everything, and they found this dog was 100% right every time.
Oh my. Ken, I absolutely salute you as a friend and what you do over there with Minidoka Animal Control. God bless you, man, and we'll look forward to talking to you next week.
And God bless you too, Zeb.
Thank you. Where'd all these dogs come from anyway? Oh, Minidoka Animal Control with Officer Mort, a dear, dear friend. Thank you very much. We're going to go to Rita Ramsey in just a moment, but before we do, I want to tell everybody about Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation. Man, I missed going down there this week. I've been gone all week long in the afternoon. They are the best. Nick Greenwell and the rest of the physical therapists, I mean, they can develop all the different exercises for you and your situation, and they've got that hydrotherapy pool with a treadmill in the bottom. Boy, I use that. It really helps. They know all about the sports medicine. I'm telling you, a great, comprehensive, friendly staff of knowledge helping you getting back to being and feeling like yourself. Excellent people at Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation, 1263 Bennett Avenue, Suite 2 in Burley. Now, here's what you do. You call this number, 678-1191, for your appointment. 678-1191. Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation. Oh my goodness, good morning, Rita Ramsey. How are you?
Good morning, I'm real good.
Rita, it's so nice to have you on the program, and I got to be honest with you that my temper is extremely short, even more so now than before, against Barack Obama. There is so much that this man is doing. There's so much that this man has got stewing on the back burner of the oven. There is so much that the rest of his staff is trying to throw at us for rules, regulatory systems, etc. during the remaining of his 651 days left in office. But what he's doing, and I don't know how you feel about this. What he is doing about Christianity and the condemnation of Christians with subtle little remarks like he did at the prayer breakfast a couple of months ago and then at the Easter breakfast this week, I have no respect for this man.
Well, it's really quite interesting that he can start to kind of shifting the blame for everything that's going wrong to Christians who are being nasty or saying nasty things or whatever like that, instead of saying, you know what, there are Christians all over this world that are being attacked, and there's actually a Holocaust going on with them, and we need to have somebody be held accountable and get this stopped. Instead, it's kind of like, well, all those Christians are saying bad things about me, and, you know, it's all about him. It's all about him.
You know, there was, Rita, did you catch this morning, it was really early this morning, about 4:35, there was a gentleman, I did not catch his name, so I apologize for that, but he was one of the leaders of the National Ministers Taking a Stand organization, and I am going to be in contact with them after I get off this program today and try to get these folks represented on my program next week. They have had enough, and it's a national group of ministers that are outraged over Obama's support and kindness to Islam and his continual slamming of Christianity, and I'm going to do the most I can to advocate and help those people on my program.
Well, that definitely needs to be brought to light because, you know, we kind of keep thinking, well, things are going okay in my little corner of the world, and yet there's all those Christians that are being, you know, killed and everything. And then when we've got a president who goes in and says things like, oh, the Christians are this and that and the other, he says, where there's injustice, you know, I'm about to be raw. I'm pulling it back, and you know, they're saying things about me, and they're not nice things, and it's like, oh, this should never be about you, mister.
Well, Rita, the thing that really bothers me is that he got up at this Easter prayer breakfast, and I'm paraphrasing, I don't have the exact quote right in front of me, and he started talking about the negativity of being a Christian, and he said all the things that some Christians say is not loving. And you know of anybody, Rita, that follows the news, he was making a reference about the Indiana law, about how Christians that believe in the Bible and believe in the passages in the Bible and did not want to go along with the gay and lesbian lifestyle. That's what he was referring to.
Well, that's probably true. And, well, where was he when Reverend Wright was doing all of his ranting and stuff? He supposedly was a Christian. You know, he never said anything about that. The thing of it is he says things when it suits his agenda, and it's always me. He's always right in the center of it, and it's their, you know, he said, I'm concerned by those less than loving Christians. In other words, they're not saying good things about me and those things that I think they ought to be doing. He wants to be a dictator, and it's like, you can't say those kind of things. It's me you're talking about.
Yeah. This man, I just don't think we have even seen the bottom of the rain bucket as to what he's going to try to do with his so-called pen and his phone in the remaining time in office. I was visiting to a politician that asked that I not use his name. He's not a politician from this state, but he is a very well-known national politician, and he is scared to death what Obama is going to try to impose on the American public with regulatory systems prior to leaving office.
Well, I think he ought to be, but this is the thing. We have a Senate and a Congress that if they would all band together, they could stop a lot of it. I think that they've got them blackmailed to the point where they won't say anything, and they just, you know, it's kind of like, well, we can't do anything, or they'll bring up what they're blackmailing me about, and there's so much bad stuff going on, and you don't have people with clean records, or enough people with clean records that they can get up and say, stop, you can't keep doing this, and I don't care. You know, if I was Chief Justice Roberts and Obama had blackmailed me, and I really think that's what happened, is I would have said, you know what, I'm not going to take this. This is what I did. They've been blackmailing me, and I'm not going to give in. I'm just not going to do it. I think that's what Petraeus did. he finally said, no, you're not going to blackmail me. I'll get out there and say what I did and get the heck out of Dodge.
I want to ask you a little bit this morning. We've seen Ted Cruz throw his hat in the ring, and, of course, probably Jeb Bush is going to announce that gee, how wonderful this is. He's going to throw his hat in the ring next week. But Rand Paul stuck his neck out and said he's going to run for president, and automatically, whether you agree with his position and his stand and his platform, that's irrelevant. Automatically, the left and the media, they just pounced upon him like a cat to a plate of milk, and overnight started calling him a sexist. Did you hear all that?
Oh, yeah. It just really irritates me. There was those two different ones that he had conversations with. I think it was yesterday. It might have been the day before, but it was yesterday. And basically, and then, of course, the one with Megyn Kelly. And I was a little disgusted by hers as well, because what this says this is all about me. This isn't about the candidate or what he has or what he brings to the race. This is about me, and so I'm going to do whatever I can to make me the center of attention. And so they immediately start in, you this and you that, and you can't do this and you can't do that and everything else, instead of, why didn't they just ask him questions, say, well, where do you stand on this before you did it, and I know that if it was me that was in that, I would have got just as irritated as he did. But, I just get really flabbergasted at the audacity that some of these news people take when they say, well, what about this? And all of a sudden they're trying to make themselves the center of attention and bring you along because I'm interviewing you, instead of making him say what his positions and stuff.
Well, your point's so well taken, but I want to go back. I saw the news clip of the NBC reporter that was asking Rand Paul a bunch of questions, but she didn't do it in a very professional way. And I watched this and I listened to this, and I apologize, I can't remember her name offhand, but she strung together a whole series of accusations and just kept going from one issue to another issue to another issue to another issue, and left him sitting there so that he couldn't respond without interrupting her. And finally he had enough, and he said, no, wait a minute, let me respond to some of your charges. And she rambled right over him, and I think honestly belittled him.
Well, she did, and it was meant to be that way. And I kind of go back to what I said before. I think she was trying to make it about her instead of him. And it's anything we can do. We'll just try to do whatever we can to make it look like that I'm the important one and discount him. And, that you would have thought that she would have given him the courtesy to let him answer questions, and she could ask one or maybe two, and then he could answer two. But, boy, she didn't. She went off on a tirade and didn't give him a chance to answer. And then when he says, well, wait a minute, let me at least respond to you. You're just making these accusations. Let me at least respond. And all of a sudden he's sexist. And, boy, that's the way he's going to be. This is the war on women. He's already, taken off on that. I think that's what they think that they can do this time.
Well, and the situation with Rand Paul was no different than what they did to Ted Cruz when he announced. And I'm sure that every Republican candidate, and watch out when Scott Walker announces, because I think you're going to see the walls crumble and the roof cave in. The liberal media absolutely is out to denigrate. They're out to absolutely nail to the cross any Republican candidate. Would you agree with that?
Oh, absolutely. They don't want a Republican to make any headway, and they're just trying to clear the path for Hillary so there won't be any questions for her. And I still think that they're going to use not necessarily the race card with her, but the war on women. You didn't treat her with respect when you asked her questions, or why would you ask her hard questions, or anything like that. I heard Chris Wallace asking Carly Fiorina some really hard questions, and boy, she didn't mince words. She didn't shrink back or anything. She answered the questions, and I think that with the wide path of whatever individuals decide that they want to run, there's a big opening for any of them, and it would be way better than what we had, or way better than what we can get with Hillary.
Okay, now wait a minute, though. I got to stop you on something and have you give me more information. You said wide path. That's the words that you used. How can a candidate, regardless of whether it's Cruz, Rand Paul, hopefully not Jeb Bush, Scott Walker, anybody, how can they successfully go into a presidential debate knowing that the press has already set the parameters on language and words that can't be used, or they're going to go ahead and throw the sexist tag on them? How can a person have a successful debate or any kind of a debate without being skewered by the press?
Well, I think it's called doing your homework, and what they need to do is they need to play back some of those debates where Mitt Romney was attacked, and how some of those people, just like when Stephanopoulos asked him about birth control, for crying out loud, and some of those things, and just remind all of them, okay, these are some of the things that they hit us with before. We were blindsided. We're going to be ready for them. And that Reince Priebus, he needs to get in there and start doing a little homework and schooling people, and any of these election committees, these assistants and that they have on their teams, they need to just go in and start saying, okay, this is what we're going to have, and this is how we respond, and don't let them, take the best of you. Let them just go ahead and ask the question, and then you come back with a thing just kind of like, didn't even faze me, and don't give him any fodder. Because with Mitt Romney, I think he was so flabbergasted with some of the stupid stuff that they threw at him, and he's not a despicable guy, and it's like, I'm not going to get mad. I mean, I just don't know if he has it in him to get mad and be ornery and, that. And so it was kind of like, well, he just sat back and let him do it.
Well, let me ask you this, okay? Now, you, just for a moment, bear with me, don't get mad at me, but bear with me, and you are now Candy Crowley, okay, at the presidential debates, and I will be Mitt Romney. You have stated a question, and Obama had the first answer, and then I, as Mitt Romney, had the rebuttal. I am in the middle of my rebuttal, and all of a sudden, you, as Candy Crowley, interrupted me. Here's what I think Mitt Romney should have said, and I think he should have said it very forcefully. I think he should have stopped his verbiage towards Barack Obama. He should have looked at Candy Crowley and said, "Pardon me, Miss Crowley, you are the moderator. You are not a presidential candidate. Let me respectfully answer the question and respond to President Obama, and then you can interrupt." That's what should have been done to put her in her place, but he let her override the situation.
Well, he did, and it was just like the deal with Stephanopoulos, and there were a number of different ones. It was kind of like, are you serious? And it just took them by surprise, and that's why I think they need to just start showing back those films, and this is what we're going to do, and remember when they do this, that don't give them any fodder so that they can make you look like you're stupid or surprised or anything else. Just don't skip a beat and keep going, and keep telling them, the number one thing is going to be the war on women, and you're going to have to make sure that you answer things the way that you want to, and not discount anything that they're going to do.
All right. I'm going to ask you to take a cough drop, and I'm going to do the weather forecast. I certainly hope you feel better. Hold on just a second, Rita. I'll get right back with you. But our weather forecast is brought to everybody by Mad River Laser, 502 East Street in Rupert, 436-2293, Nicole and Alex Pratt. And I'll tell you what, they now offer online T-shirt designing. You can upload your own art, use their templates, and design a T-shirt and have it ready later that day. Oh, my goodness, find out more. Get a hold of Mad River Laser. These folks are phenomenal. They've got all the business promotional items. They can help you with all of your stuff that you need for your business, or that you just want something maybe for your kids, the family, everything with a special memo on it, they can help you. And don't forget, too, for the Women's Expo, if you need banners, they can provide full-color banners, and if you mention my name, 25% off at Mad River River Laser. Love these folks. 502 East Street in Rupert. Right now, here is Michael Rogers' weather.
Hello, everyone. Michael Rogers is up at the ranch. The worst is over. We got sun. We got a lot of sun. Might kick in a few clouds, but basically, the worst is done. We will see nice weather warming up through the weekend. Slight chance of rain on Saturday. But we're done with the big storm. We're done with the winds. We're done with the cooler temperatures. Done. Enjoy the day. Enjoy the weekend. Enjoy the weather. It's the only weather you can.
All right, we are done. All right, Michael Rogers weather. Brought to you by Mad River Laser. Hello, Nicole. 502 East Street in Rupert. 436-2293. Rita, boy, you sound like you got a really bad cold. I hope you feel better soon, and I appreciate you being on the program. Are you aware, Rita, that you and me and our tax dollars put some brand new special bathrooms in the White House? Are you aware of that?
Actually, no, and nothing surprises me.
Yes, they built some brand new special gender-neutral bathrooms in the White House at various locations so that they could serve the confused transgenders. I just thought I'd let you know where some of your tax dollars are going.
It is so ridiculous. You just wonder, when is the foolishness going to come to a halt?
It's beyond time. It's beyond time, and we're catering to a very, very small minority of perverted ideas and concepts, and as a taxpayer, I'm fed up with it. I'm sure you are too.
Well, and that's the big problem. These politicians, when they take their oath of office, they say that they will support the Constitution and make sure that it's enforced, and that they will do whatever they need to do to protect America and that kind of thing. And yet they just use our tax money like it's just going out of style. They don't sit back and say, you know what, this is part of my oath, and I'm misusing these funds.
I want to talk to you in the remaining time about the Tea Party. Again, there were a couple of news clips this week where some of the liberal left, they were asked the question about the value of the Tea Party, and right away they came out and said, the Tea Party's dead, it's been buried, they've had the wake, they've had the funeral, it's a has-been, it's a memory. How would you respond to some of those news clips?
Well, that's probably wishful thinking, but I think it's stronger than it's ever been. There might not be as many people gathering and marching and making signs and protesting and that kind of thing right now. But you can't tell me that common sense is just absolutely left and people don't care anymore. I think as we get closer to the elections, and as some of this stuff keeps continuing on, people are getting madder and madder and madder, and they're going to join the ranks. As like I've said before, there's probably at least 75% of America that thinks the way that we do, and that is that we don't want government in our face. Just leave us alone. Let us make a living. Let us raise our families. You make the laws, but quit bringing down all of these different things that we have to do, and you're wasting our money, and it's out of control, and nobody's doing what they're supposed to be doing.
You bring up the percentages, and really the 75 to 80% of what you said, people just leave us alone and let us be good taxpayers, let us be good citizens, don't regulate our life away. That is almost the same equation and percentage that you could use about Christians. And leave us alone, let us practice our faith, and they're still the dominant numbers in this United States. But there again, government, for control of the people, they have to get rid of the Christians, and they have to get rid of the people that don't want all the regulation.
That's right. Their number one goal is to get rid of somebody that would protest their power or say, you know what, you don't have the authority for that. And, that's where the Tea Party is we're just opposed to them doing more regulation and overstepping their boundaries. They're not going by the Constitution. If they were, there wouldn't be, all the regulation and the government just in the middle of everything. If you think about it, the federal government is supposed to keep us safe, so they should maintain the Army and do the diplomatic things around the world and let everybody else do their own thing, and yet they're involved in our food. What food are we going to eat? How much water we're going to have in our toilets? Whether we can have a specific kind of fabric for our pajamas. I mean, every time you turn around, there's something else that they've butted into, and they have no right to do it, and there's no reason to. Do they think that we don't know how to use common sense and take care of ourselves and have some personal responsibility?
Absolutely. We've got about a minute left. What's going on? Any Tea Party meetings that you need to acknowledge?
We have Tea Party meeting tonight at 7 o'clock at the City of Burley in the council chambers, and we're going to go over the legislation and stuff that's been done up at the State House, and then there's a number of things, and we're going to reorganize and see if we can't get a few more people to come and help us be community organizers for the other side.
All right. Rita, I mean this. On behalf of Deanne and I, we certainly hope you get to feeling better, and thank you for taking the time to come on the program this morning.
Oh, you bet. I'm sure I'll be fine in a day or so.
All right. Thank you. Rita Ramsey, a very, very nice lady, and she knows what's going on. She knows politics. Oh, my. You know what? Look at your watch, and right now it's about 7 minutes till the hour of 10 o'clock. And when you get up early in the morning, like I get up at 4 o'clock and get ready for this program, and about this time, oh yeah, I'm hungry and I'm starving to death. Well, let's talk about some great eating and great places to go. How about, and I gotta call Kip one of these days and tell him, hey, save me a burrito at Taco Bandito, 2301 Overland, with the breakfast burritos, scrambled eggs, bacon, sausage, cheese, onions, tomatoes, sauce on a tortilla shell. Oh, they're so good. And you're going to love the Tamalito burritos and the Southern baked burritos. All the food, delicious. At the Taco Bandito, 2301 Overland in Burley. Well, how about Burgers Etc.? 124 South Oneida in Rupert and 700 North Overland in Burley. And starting now, they have hamburgers only 99 cents after 3 p.m. in the afternoon. What? Yep, 99 cents hamburgers after 3 p.m. in the afternoon. Delicious burgers and cheeseburgers and taco salads and fries and onion rings, and you're just going to love the food at Burgers Etc. And every Sunday at the Burley location, shrimp dinner specials. Oh my, Burgers Etc. in Rupert and Burley. Oh, I'm drooling. Hey, how about Steve-O's, 290 South, 600 West of Heyburn? Food made the way you like it. And I got something special to announce next week about Steve-O's, so you stay tuned and be listening. They've got absolutely delicious food, hand-patted hamburger patties made daily with love. And they had the Minnecasia best voted French fries. Oh, my goodness sakes. You're going to love the pork chop salad with a choice of potatoes and the steak sandwiches. Oh yeah, nice people at Steve-O's, 290 South, 600 West of Heyburn. And now let's move on over. I'm hungry. To the AC Drive-In at 601 East Main in Burley. Have you listened to me talk about that country fried steak on a bun? Country fried steak with their large farmer bun with a signature white sauce and lettuce and Swiss cheese. Oh, you're gonna love it, along with all the other great sandwiches like the famous Farmer Brown burgers and all the fries and all the different flavors of the delicious shakes. Oh my, you better stop in today. 601 East Main in Burley, the AC Drive-In. And those are just a few places to go when you're hungry and starving to death. Absolutely. By the way, also want to remind you again about our friends at Streamline Precision at 120 South, 100 West of Burley, right next to Dot Foods. You can call Tim Vaughn at 431-7314. Call him today for estimates. Streamline Precision is a family of companies providing construction, excavation and fabrication services. And believe me, they make a coordinated, accurate, confidential, and consistent timeline to meet their clients' needs in the building that needs to be done. They can put up all your grain bins for on-the-farm storage. They're authorized dealers in Sukup, Chief Baling, and Nucor buildings. And don't forget, right now they also have all the big equipment to handle your dirt hauling with those big side dump trucks. And they've got the rigs for hauling your big farm equipment and all the equipment you need moved from place to place. They can help you, and they will. Call Tim at 431-7314. Streamline Precision, 120 South and 100 West of Burley. They are the professionals serving you. We are going to take a little break for about 6 minutes, and then we'll be back. And coming up next hour, we got Cassia County School Days, along with some other great segments. And then at 10:30, Vicky's Flowers with the Country Garden Report. Hey, I'll tell you what, we'll be back in 6. Don't go away. Oh, my. I can't wait to get outside and check out this beautiful spring weather. It's a little bit cool out there, but not too bad. Good morning, Zeb at the Ranch. I'm Zeb Bell, and our major sponsor, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, and, of course, all 7 locations with a great big spring tire sale. And don't forget, too, some of our great advertisers like Ramsey Heating and Electric at 2600 Overland Avenue in Burley, and our friends at Valley Wide Home and Ranch, 910 South Oneida in Rupert. All the 4-H'ers, don't forget, they've got everything for you and your 4-H projects. Everything for the farm, the home, and the ranch at Valley Wide Home and Ranch. In just a few minutes, we're going to get all set to have Cassia County School Days with Debbie Critchfield, so stand by for that. If you have, I'm going to start opening this up a little bit. If you have any segments that you're really interested in, that perhaps we should do some investigatory type work and get some people on for various subjects that you'd like to find out more about, all you have to do is just give me an email at Zeb at the Ranch. Those are 4 words, Zeb at the Ranch, and then the @ hotmail.com. Don't forget, Zeb at the Ranch at hotmail.com. Or if you want to give me a call on my cell phone, you can give me a jingle at 312-2976. 312-2976. Okay? Let's see. The Masters. I was going to talk just a little bit. I know a lot of people, they say, well, watching golf on TV is kind of like watching paint dry. I find it the other way. The beauty of, like, where they're having the Masters in Georgia, and the beauty of the scenery and the greens and the trees, it's just fantastic. And the Masters golf tournament has always been kind of interesting to me because you're seeing the best in the world try to beat the best and be the best. And this year, again, Tiger Woods is back in the tournament players list, but they said it's a brand new Tiger. I was reading an edition of the sports page yesterday in the USA Today, and they said, whoa, wait a minute, what happened to this guy? He's friendly, he's smiling, he's being cordial to other players, he's being cordial to the media. This isn't Tiger Woods! And he even had his kids out there on the golf course yesterday with him in the par 3 contest, and he just automatically let himself be disqualified because he let his son hit one of the putts. What happened to Tiger Woods? Why, maybe he's maturing. Anyway, the Masters Golf Tournament on for the weekend, and they teed off early this morning, and it's going to be all the way through Sunday. We will see who is going to be the best of the best. Right now, it's time for Cassia County School Days. And I am so honored to have Cassia County School Days be a part of my program. And we have 2 wonderful sponsors for this segment. We have A Child's World, and they're located at 1308 Overland Avenue in Burley. They've got hundreds and hundreds of happy, bright spring dresses. I don't know what a happy, bright spring dress does, but I guess they stand there or hang there on the rack and just smile. And they've got Buster Brown clothing, and for $15 you can get a a 4-piece outfit for baby, all gift wrap free. They've got everything at the family store, A Child's World, 1308 Overland in Burley. And the other sponsor of Cassia County School Days, of course, Ambulatory Surgery Center at 1344 Highland in Burley. And now, write this number down. Write this number down, 677-8888. And Ambulatory Surgery Center, with their outpatient surgery procedures, have saved people a lot of money. And their outstanding doctors at this center can really serve you. Life-saving colonoscopies, cataract surgeries, carpal tunnel surgeries. Please get a hold of them today. 677-8888. Ambulatory Surgery Center at 1344 Highland. And those are your two sponsors for Cassia County School Days. And with us today is the Cassia County School Communications Officer, lovely lady Debbie Critchfield. Debbie, good morning.
Good morning.
I understand that we're going to talk about ISIS, national debt, and global warming, right?
That's exactly right. Thank you for getting my email.
No, seriously, what are you...
Topics. I heard your plug to your listeners on topics that they are interested in hearing, and may I just add that if there's a particular school topic that they're interested in hearing about, they could include that in their requests, and I'd love to provide what your listeners are interested in.
Now, that is a good idea, and so let's amplify that a little bit more. Folks out there, regarding any of the schools within the Cassia County School District, if you have questions or you have some point of interest that you'd like to bring out and have us talk about in this segment, how do they go about getting a hold of you?
Well, they can either call the school district's central office, 878-6600, or if they're already plugged into you, if you don't mind being the go-between, if you have information, you can email it my way, and we're interested in providing topics that people want to hear about.
Absolutely. Debbie, you don't know I'm going to say this. I didn't mention this before, but I want to give you kudos, and I mean this. I have worked with a lot of people in the 18 years that I've had this program, and I don't think I've ever run across anybody that continually and consistently is right up front with all the information and really there to make sure that the people understand and are knowledgeable about what's going on. And I think they made a very wise choice in naming you communications officer. You do a really good job.
That is very, very kind. I appreciate that. Somebody the other day approached me and said something about, well, have things changed in Cassia County? Are we doing different things? Why has this vibe changed? In the recent past, there's been a real negative cloud, I think, that's hung over our school district. All the publicity had been very negative, and so the question was, are our teachers doing a better job, or what's changed? And honestly, I think the discussion has changed from pulling out those things that are negative, and our teachers have always been working hard. We've always been trying to get the information. There's just been some avenues opened up recently, such as your program, that we're able to get that information out, and I think that it helps improve the whole atmosphere of our county.
Well, I think, and I've said for a long time, and I'll go back to when Debbie and I started first talking about having this program on my show as part of a segment. The more you talk about an issue and you're direct and honest with the people and the patrons, the better off everything will be.
Well, I agree 100%. And at the end of the day, and you know this like I do, some people don't agree at the end of the discussion. But at least if you put the information out there and let folks make up their own mind and kind of weigh through it and think through the issue, if they don't come to agree with what's been decided at the end, that's okay. We just want to make sure that it doesn't look like any decisions are done secretively.
Absolutely. Well, now, the election was very successful for the refurbishing and rebuilding many of the problems in Cassia County schools. So I guess if I were on the audience side this morning, I would say, where do we start first?
that's sort of, in my mind after the election. So March 10th, I thought I'm just going to retire to a nice tropical island with a coconut drink once the bond process is over. But the morning after the election, we began in meetings with a different set of people on how we get the bond sold, with our banking officials. And those look to be sold on May 5th. And so we're excited to have that take place. That's what's been scheduled. And when that takes place, the delivery of the money will come as early as the end of May to the school district.
Mm-hmm.
And so we have been meeting with architects. We've gone back into the schools with our faculty members and expanded our community groups to actually now look and say, here's kind of the layout that we have for what we're going to do in your area. Help us within the budget that we have figure out how we can accommodate your needs. And so those discussions are taking place. We're having a site analysis. In fact, tomorrow in both Oakley and Malta, we have got some folks coming out that will drill down into the ground. We want to make sure this is another important part of getting things built. We want to make sure we know what we're building on, particularly in Malta. And so we've got these geological studies that are taking place so that all of these things we can really be ready to get going in the fall.
So there's already been a kind of a unique group get together and prioritize A, B, C, D, right down to Z as to what you're going to do, right?
Absolutely. The school district hired a construction manager, general contractor, actually out of Twin Falls, that is working with the school district, with the architect, and with our local communities. And they, we went through all the projects. Of course, the construction team, they weren't a part of the process of putting the recommendations together. They're just, now charged with getting stuff built. And so they sat down and they looked at what makes sense as far as bidding, the time frame for bidding, what can we put together to get the best bidding practice or packages, what time of year makes the most sense to have the most available subcontractors work on projects. almost $37 million worth of projects. That takes some good planning. And so that timeline is being finalized, but we do know that we're going to get, as soon as we can, starting as early as when school is out, we're going to fix some of the minor things that we can in the summer, and we're just going to dive head first starting in the fall.
I would imagine that there's a lot of people saying, well, who's going to crack the whip to make sure that everybody is right on time with these various projects so that they get done for the benefit of the students, the benefit of the school, and the benefit of all the activities?
Yes, there are many whip crackers that are going to be involved in this process. Different people have different roles. And one of the things that we learned 20 years ago is that, the last bond is expiring, that we needed to improve how we managed the bond, how things were built. And those, one good thing about having some failures in other areas is you sure learn quickly how to do it better. And so, the school board particularly are very interested. This is, this money it's a big deal. And we've been entrusted in the county to come through with those things that we've promised and taxpayer dollars. And there's every eyeball that can possibly be on this is watching how this happens.
Let me ask you this. As the dirt is turned for these projects, are you going to, on behalf of the communications office, are you going to supply weekly updates in both the news media with the press, the written press, and the radio stations, my station? Are you going to provide a weekly update as far as a web page? I mean, this is going to take a lot of work on your part too, isn't it?
Yes, all of the above is my answer. And I'm glad that, pardon me, that you have keyed into that, because that is something that I am very interested in, and of course the board is. We will have weekly updates in all of those ways that you've talked about. And we'll include pictures, brief synopsis of this is what's coming up, this is where we are, and so that folks can follow along. And, I'm interested. I reside in Oakley, and even if I didn't work for the school district, I would be interested in what's going on in Declo and Burley, and my, assumption is that other folks are interested countywide. It's just not what's going on in their backyard.
Now, along with the construction and, of course, the reassessment of all the money to help with these different projects, schools go on, and I'm sure you're going to have a lot of other activities to take care of and report on also.
Oh, absolutely, and kind of what we were talking about earlier, there are a lot of wonderful things happening, and while we are building, some schools are going to be more inconvenienced than others, but nonetheless, we will plow through and make sure that the kids have all of the activities and opportunities, and the education is consistent throughout the building process, regardless of the community that they're in. So really, it's such an exciting time. I almost kind of have a headache thinking about it because it's a lot of work too. But this is what we've wanted in the county, and we were supported. Nearly 75% of the votes came in yes, and so I know folks are interested and excited along with us all.
I'm just going to tie this in, Debbie, and I'd like to hear your remark. I think the people in this area of southern Idaho, they should be very appreciative of what's going to happen with these building projects and renovation projects, and they should be also very happy with the legislature and the governor for that increase of, 7.4% to the education budget. Things are getting much better.
They are. And, are we where we want to be? No. But as you pointed out, there are several pieces of the pie, particularly this spring, that we can be encouraged about and feel good that we're moving in the right direction. We know what, especially in Caddo County, and I think it's Idaho in general, we live in a conservative area, and that is a wonderful thing. Absolutely. And when we have the opportunity to do some of these projects and, as you pointed out, make some improvements in budgets for teachers and education in general, there's a lot to look forward to.
All right, any final thoughts? I've got 1 minute left, Debbie. It's all yours.
I hope you have a wonderful day. How about that?
That was a short one. Hey, listen, I want to say again how much I appreciate you, and you're very, very eloquent on this program, along with all the other guests that you've lined up. This has been a very interesting program, and quite frankly, I've learned a lot from the different teachers and the different subject matter, and thank you for what you've done, and I hope we can continue it on in the future.
I agree, and I'm glad to partner with you. And again, any comments or suggestions, I would love to receive them and provide what we can so that people can get their questions or just learn what they want to learn.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Lovely lady, Debbie Critchfield, Cassia County Schools Communication Officer. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Brought to you by A Child's World and Ambulatory Surgery Center. A Child's World at 1308 Overland in Burley, and Ambulatory Surgery Center at 1344 Highland in Burley. Wonderful sponsors. Thank you very much. We are going to go to the phone line right now, and we're going to run right over to Valleywide Home and Ranch, and we're going to get them on the phone, and I believe Mandy's with us. Mandy, are you there?
I have her, I'm getting her on the phone right now.
All right, very good, partner. I appreciate it. Thank you. I'll just come on here for a few minutes, and while Wheels is getting her on the phone, I want to remind you that next Monday we're going to have Frosty Wildridge, and I got a note from Frosty, and I want to share this with everybody. Basically, he has been asked to be on a kind of a benefit charity bike ride, and after next Monday, Frosty's going to be off the air for a couple of months because they're going to take another grand tour around the United States, and Frosty's going to help head that up. So it's kind of a bon voyage for Frosty this next Monday. And then, of course, we'll have the Alliance Defending Freedom. And then we're going to have a couple other really interesting guests on Monday that you don't want to miss. So plan on that. Oops, the call to the race. And good morning to the lovely, sweet, charming. Is there anything I forgot to read on the card that you furnished for me? Hello, Mandy at Valleywide Home and Ranch.
Hi, Zeb. How are you today?
I am fantastic. What's going on over at Valleywide?
We are getting everything ready for everybody's needs for 4-H. We have feed, we have all of your supplies, you name it, we can get it for you for 4-H.
Now, what about the 4-Hers, Mandy? Do they come in and do they have to show some kind of a 4-H card or what? How do they go about getting that discount?
If you just come in and just whatever the product is that you're buying, as long as it qualifies for our 4-H program, you get 10% off. And you just have to let the cashiers up front know that you're in a 4-H program, and we'll get you that 10% off.
Now, when you say the 4-H programs, I mean, give us a little breakdown about all the feed, all the equipment. Tell us what you have that the 4-Hers will be looking for.
We have our own mill up in Preston, so we make a lot of our own feed. So we have feed for all types of animals that you could get through us from that. And then also Katie does a wonderful job with all your types of products. We have, oh my goodness, we have shampoos, conditioners, we have combs, we have all kinds of stuff. You name it, Katie can get it for you.
All right. And one thing I wanted to highlight is that Valley White Home and Ranch at 910 South Oneida in Rupert, you folks are also going to have various 4-H clinics. Now, tell me a little bit about that.
We are. We're going to try to have one at least once a month, if not every other month throughout the summer. I don't know for sure exactly what the clinics are yet, but I do know they are on the books. They are going to be doing different clinics.
All right. So basically for all their 4-H projects related to animals, whether it's bunny rabbits all the way up to horses, you've got all their equipment, right?
That's right.
Okay. Hey, by the way, what about the spring gardeners? Are you taking care of them?
We do. We have all kinds of different things for your gardens, your trees, shrubs, your lawn, everything. We have all types of seed, fertilizer, all kinds of stuff.
All right. There is a rumor going around that you and some of the other staff members are still trying to find all the chickens and the bunny rabbits. Did you find them all?
Oh my goodness, yes. Every morning we have to do a head count because they keep jumping out of the bins. And yeah, it's a wild race around here trying to gather them all back up, but it's fun.
With the bunny rabbits, don't you just have to follow the raisins?
We do. We do have trails of raisins.
Okay. Hey, it's springtime and fishing time. Tell us a little bit about your fishing department real quick.
We have a full fishing department. It's upstairs in our loft. Also, we do the fishing license. You can come in and get your hunting and fishing license with me, too.
Oh, boy. Well, I know where I'm headed then. I need all that equipment. And tell everybody where you're located.
We are located at 910 South Oneida in Rupert, right after the first stoplight.
And all they have to do is just look for that shining light, which is the beaming smile on your face, right?
Absolutely.
All right. Mandy, God bless. Have a wonderful day over at Valley White Home and Ranch.
You do the same, Zeb. Have a great day.
Thank you very much. I love these folks. They're really nice, very cordial, and they've got what you're looking for at Valley White Home and Ranch, 910 South Oneida in Rupert. You stop over and see those good folks today. What we're going to do, and I got kind of a scheduling problem for this next half hour, as Wheels already knows about. So right now we're going to go with our funeral announcements, and I'll be right back in just a few minutes. Stand by.
And now back to Zeb at the Ranch on AM 1230 KBAR. To reach Zeb, call 436-2244 or toll free 1-866-927-4587. And now, here is Zeb Bell.
Oh, thank you. In just a moment, we're going to have the lovely Miss Vicky from Vicky's Country Garden on our program. But first and foremost, we're going to have the weather brought to you by Scarrows Meats. They sell taste one bite at a time. Located at 331 North Road, Jerome. Number to call, 324-7657. Don't forget that special, that $300 tax return meat package. It's delicious. It's phenomenal. Beef, pork, chicken, cheese, all of this from Scarrows Meats. Check it out today. Call them 324-7657. Right now, here's Michael Rogers' weather.
Hello, everyone. Michael Rogers is up at the ranch. The worst is over. We got sun. We got a lot of sun. Might kick in a few clouds, but basically the worst is done. We will see nice weather warming up through the weekend. Slight chance of rain on Saturday.
But we're done with the big storm. We're done with the winds. We're done with the cooler temperatures. Done. Enjoy the day. Enjoy the weekend. Enjoy the weather. It's the only weather you've got.
All right, Michael. We're done. All right, thank you. And once again, don't forget Don Scarrow and the rest of the folks at Scarrow's Meats. Sell and taste one bite at a time. Check out that $300 tax return meat package. Beef, pork, chicken, cheese. It's delicious. Call them at 324-7657. It is time now for the lovely Miss Vicky at Vicky's Country Garden, 185 South, 600 West of Paul, and, of course, Gardening for Idiots, that she so aptly named after me because I'm not the world's best gardener. Good morning, lovely Miss Vicky. How are you?
Good, fine, Deb. We've got spring back again. We had a nice little rain, settled the dust, made the air smell good, and now the sun's shining, and we're ready to plant gardens for the weekend.
Okay, now the weather forecast is calling for better and warmer temperatures. Are people jumping ahead too quick, or is this the weekend, Miss Vicky?
Well, it's still too early for some things, as we've talked about before, but this is going to be a good weekend. If you haven't got it rototilled, you've got a little bit of moisture in there now, so get it rototilled up and get your compost in, and get your cold weather crops planted in there right now, like your radishes and lettuce and peas and spinach and that type of thing.
I had a call, and the lady questioned. She said they are planning their first-year garden, and I think a year ago we had a question comparable to this, and she said, we've never planted a garden before, but my husband and I, she said, love things like you just mentioned them, I'm afraid, radishes and things like that. But she said, we don't know how much to plant. How would you answer that question?
Okay, on those kind of things, you're going to want to plant small batches and plant them more often.
Oh.
Because you can't plant them all at once because they're going to all come up at once. They'll all be ready at once, and then they start getting really kind of woody tasting and hot.
Okay.
So plant small bunches of them on just whatever your row is. Plant a small bunch. When that one comes up, plant another another foot or so, and then when that just kind of work your way back through it that way. That's the same way with lettuce and that type of thing too, because you can only use it so many times before it starts to get bitter. And like I say, with the radishes, you want them fresh, you want them young, you don't want them all getting ready at the same time, because you can, I don't know about anybody else, but you can only eat so many radishes.
Right. Vicky, though, a question along with that, how long is the maturity date for radishes and that type of a crop? I mean, what are they looking at? How many weeks?
Well, you're looking at, on radishes and that, they come up really fast. And usually, once they come up, they're usually ready for use in about 20 to 25 days.
Okay. All right. And along with another question, and here's what happened to me, as you know, a couple of years ago when I started my garden with you on the air, and it was involving how much to put on the garden for fertilizer. And you remember the problem I had.
Mm-hmm. Well, the one thing about it is, if you're using like the manure, like a manure fertilizer, horse manure, cow manure, sheep manure, God forbid chicken manure, I mean, it's good, but it's hot. It's best to put that on in the fall.
Oh.
And turn it under and let it kind of break down and cool down. You can burn things really easy in the summer, in the spring when you put that type of fertilizer on.
Okay.
Compost is perfectly safe to put on because it's already worked most of the nutrient out, all of the nitrogen pretty much gone out of it to compost itself. So it gives you a nice organic mix, but not a lot of fertilizer value. Your commercial fertilizers are slower release. You're not going to get as easy a chance of burning as you are with your fresh manures and that type of thing.
Okay. Now, another listener wrote in, and I love these questions that are coming in, and she said, how do we know if we're buying good quality garden seed?
That's a real good question. A lot of these seed packets and stuff, they usually have a date on them, and they're supposed to be fresh seed.
My bulk seed is, I have a germination date on mine that I can look at and say, okay, as of December of 14, this had a 95% germination rate, so we know we've got fresh seeds. Sometimes in the packages, you just don't. And a lot of people don't understand on my bulk seed. They think they have to buy it like by the pound or, like a pound of radish seed or something like that. They don't. On the bulk seed, we weigh it out, and we can go down to a small of amount as 22 cents. Mm-hmm. It's a lot cheaper than buying packaged seed.
Okay. And another lady writes...
pressure.
Okay. Another lady writes in, and she said, after we plant the garden, how long, and this is a question that a lot of people probably would ask, how long before we need to start worrying about taking care of weeds?
As soon as they appear.
Uh-huh.
To be honest, you don't. Because weeds they are a major draw from your fertilizers in your ground. I mean, they grow fast. They use a lot of your nitrogen and a lot of your, they pull a lot of fertilizer. And so therefore, when your plants and your stuff comes up, you want to make sure you try to keep them out of there as early as possible.
And
a lot of people are taking, and as soon as they see the weeds coming up, they pull them out, and then they're putting down the weed mat in between the rows and stopping the weeds from growing. Put it right up next to the plants that are growing. But basically you're going to want to let your seeds and stuff germinate and come up, but get on the weeds as soon as possible. You don't want to get any size on them because they will just sap a lot of your fertilizer out of your ground, and then there won't be anything left for your vegetables when they do come up.
Yeah, and one other thing, too, and I know we talked about this subject last year a little bit, and I'd like to mention it again this year before we get started with gardening season, is the insecticides. The old bugs are going to be coming out again this summer, and it seems like our wonderful government keeps making everything more regulatory to where it's weaker and weaker trying to take care of insects. Am I right or wrong?
You are. There's different things that are being taken off the market. We've lost 7 now. 7 was one of our good, was one of our last of the good insecticides that everybody knew about. We still have some. We can sell through it, but we can't buy any more. Once it's gone, it's gone. So they're taking it and they're putting us all back in with pyrethroids, pyrethrins that last 3 to 4 days, and that's about it. You're just going to have to be more diligent with the sprays, that type of thing, and, just be on top of it a little bit more, and try to keep very good. Insects breed in the weeds, so if you keep the weeds down, you've got a better chance of keeping your insect population down a little bit too, because they will lay the eggs and hatch out and breed in some of those weeds and stuff like that.
All right, and final thought here this morning, Vicki. This is a question from me. What about the bird, the aviary predators? When you plant that garden, and they just kind of land there and pick everything to pieces. What about that?
They are bad for taking your seeds out. A lot of people, that's why they usually don't bother treated corn, but they will go after. They'll take peas out, they'll take beans out, they pick out the beet seeds, and you don't see them doing it, but they can sure as heck do it. There is a product that's called a seed cover, that once you get your garden planted, it's a very, very light white cloth that lets the light through, the water through, everything but the birds.
Okay, all right.
Put that over your row, take it down, and your seeds are safe to come up then.
Okay.
But the birds can't get to them and eat them, but they are a problem. And some people will take and put different kinds of old CD discs and things like that. Put them out there to where they can whip in the wind, and that will kind of keep birds out to a certain point. But you do have to watch that because they will get in and they will pull your seeds out. And sometimes they'll pull the new plants out when like beans, when they first come up, they'll pull them right out of the ground.
Oh, my. Vicki, real quick, tell us a little bit about Vicki's Country Garden, 185 South, 600 West of Paul. You've got everything they need right there, right?
We've got all of the insecticides, the fungicides, all your bulk seed, and it's fresh bulk seed. We can help you with your garden needs in any way. We've got tomatoes, peppers growing, onions are ready to plant. We've got all of that. Bud seed. We've got everything that they need to get these gardens in and going right now.
Well, I tell you what, I always learn a lot when I talk to you on the telephone, and we want to remind everybody, Vicky's Country Gardens, the lovely Miss Vicky, and if they have questions, what number can they call and get answers for their gardening problems?
Call 438-5663. And if you don't get that number, that my cell phone is on the answering machine also, so you can call me directly. So.
I appreciate it, Vicki. I'll let you get back to work, and thank you, and God bless, and we'll talk to you again next Thursday. How's that?
That'll work, Ted. Have a good weekend.
God bless you. Thank you. Vicky's Country Garden, 185 South, 600 West of Paul. And the number to call, 438-5663. And the program named after me, Gardening for Idiots. And she does a really nice job of teaching us how to have our garden grow. We had a little bit of a scheduling problem this morning, and it was all my fault. I had a whole bunch of people and not that much time. And so we're going to go right now to the phone line, and we're going to be talking in just a moment. Wheels, if you want to let me know if he's on the air or not. A gentleman by the name of Casey Givens, and he'll be coming up on the show here in just a moment. And we really appreciate his taking a little bit shorter segment this morning on our program, as we're going to be talking about some of the millennials and their attitude on politics and what's going on in the world today. Is he ready to go?
Yes, he is, sir.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate that. And a good morning to Casey Givens, my dear friend. And right off the top, I want to give you an apology for the abbreviated time. Casey, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Seb. It's great to be here with you.
Casey, what about the millennials today? What about the kids your age? What about the voting public? What are their thoughts? Are they getting blasé about where America's heading? Are they out there? Are they getting more involved? What's going on with people your age bracket?
Well, Zeb, there's quite a lot of things going on. Of course, it's always tough to generalize a whole generation of people, but while some of the stereotype of millennials being kind of, unsure about politics or not really caring about it, I think there's a lot of hope for the future for my generation. I work for Students for Liberty, which is the biggest libertarian nonprofit in the United States, and the student nonprofit. And we're seeing a lot of young people who are really interested in returning the United States to a constitutional system of limited government, and really kind of reining in the big government mess we've seen in Washington. And a lot of kids my age are getting really excited about presidential candidates like Rand Paul, who promised to do just that. So I think there's a lot of hope for my generation and a lot of hope for freedom in the future.
I'm so glad, and I really, honestly, it makes me proud to talk to someone like you that says that. But then with every good group, you always have to counteract the bad group on the other side. And I was listening to a television show the other night and watching it, a man on the street interview, and they interviewed this one kid. He was probably about 25, 26 years old, tattoos all over his body, earrings in his ears, bone in his nose, the whole 9 yards. And they asked him if he was proud of America, and his answer was, yeah, I'm proud of America because it's the only country in the world where I never have to work. I'll get a check the rest of my life. How do you counteract that kind of a lazy society and lazy attitude from the younger generation?
Yeah, I mean, there's no denying it, Seth. There are a lot of young people with the wrong priorities. I see this all the time. I think I've mentioned this on the show before, but I went to college to UC Berkeley out on the West Coast in California, and I saw a lot of my fellow classmates with really a bad kind of mooching mentality like that. So I'm not here to defend my generation and claim that we're all perfect, because we're not. We're truly not. But I think that there's a lot of hope, especially for the future of American politics with young people. And we've seen that. There's been a number of polls that say that, well, yes, I think it's pretty undeniable that millennials, the vast majority of us are socially liberal with things like gay marriage or abortion. But there's a lot of hope for economic issues, for reining in the size and scope of government. For things like taxation, a lot of millennials are not fans of taxation and spending, and we're even seeing with a lot of new innovative technologies like Uber, the driving company, and a lot of the shared economy mobile apps. A lot of millennials just want to get government out of the way and let people make an honest living. So I think that there's a lot of hope for our generation still, even though there's still a lot of work to do, and not everyone is on the same page. But generally, I think that millennials want to see less big government spending and regulation, not more of it.
You know, Casey, you're just really uplifting to talk to on this subject this morning, but I want to go back and I want to just ask you this. For the millennials and students and young people your age, how can we, the older generation, instill in them a work and a pride ethic that might change their attitude?
You know, that's a great question, Zeb. I think that just really emphasizing the role of work and entrepreneurship in society. I think that one thing that kind of bridges, that kind of is always a constant rift, no matter what year you're in, is kind of between older generations and younger generations. Really comes down to taxation. So a lot of, especially you see this with younger people, a lot of younger people really become interested in the ideas of liberalism, or they become liberals because honestly, many of them, especially in college, haven't worked a day in their life. And they don't know, many of them haven't received a paycheck where they see exactly how much they're getting hit in the form of income taxes from federal and state governments, all the payroll taxes, etc. So I think that's an important thing to emphasize, especially with younger people, especially with, say, parents raising children, is to give them good financial knowledge and letting them know that, hey, this is why I'm a conservative, this is why I'm a libertarian, is because this is what the government is taking from us. And I believe that not only just our personal welfare as individuals, but also the country's would be better if we had more money to save and spend in the private economy.
Right.
That's one personal key, at least from my perspective, is really giving young people the financial knowledge that they really understand what's going on with taxation and what's going on with public spending policy. That's one step.
Let me ask you this question, Casey. You hear so much, not only from the younger generation, but also from some of the, what I would call buffoons involved in the media every day that are trying to say death with capitalism and let's talk more about socialism. And capitalism built this country. Entrepreneurship built this country. How do you as a younger person feel when you hear these people stand up and say, oh, down with capitalism?
Yeah, it makes me feel terrible. And I think that's another thing that is really older generations can instill in younger generations, is not any sort of to shame in capitalism, but rather pride in free enterprise. To emphasize, and this is really what, from a leftist perspective, people should be proud of free enterprise, because that's why America has such a great, such limited homelessness compared to the rest of the world. It's capitalism that is running food shelters. It's capitalism that makes America still, even though it's not perfect, has the best, one of the strongest healthcare systems in the world as far as innovation. It's capitalism that is really feeding the poor, who is helping the starving. That's helping society move forward. It's free enterprise that lifts everyone's boat from the very rich to the very poor. This is what is really driving not just the country as a whole, but individuals, is capitalism. And that's what free enterprise, just as you said, that made the United States one of the richest and most prosperous countries in the world. And Yeah, so that's one thing to really emphasize, is not to shy away from the word capitalism, but rather to embrace it and to instill in young people that it's something to be proud of, not something to be ashamed of.
I got about 4 minutes left in this interview this time, Casey, but I want to turn it a little bit over to the political spectrum. We saw the media jump right in the middle immediately when Ted Cruz announced that he was going to run for president. They started denigrating him and running him down. Then we saw what happened to Rand Paul within 24 hours of making his announcement that he's going to enter the presidential race. The liberal left, came out and just literally tried to cut him to ribbons. Is this what we're going to see with every Republican candidate when they come up against the liberal left and Hillary Clinton?
Well, yes, I think that's definitely what's going to happen. But the good news, the good news is that not every American is a liberal, is a liberal media watching goon. Most Americans know that it's exactly the liberal media that's out there to ask challenging questions to Republican candidates. I think some people like Rand Paul actually just today got asked a tough question on abortion, actually, and had a great answer. He turned it around and it was going on the offensive to the reporter and saying, why don't you ask the DNC, the Democratic Party, the same question, then get back to me. I think that a lot of Republican candidates like Rand Paul are understanding that the American people don't entirely sympathize with the media and will be more aggressive in pushing back when they're asked unreasonable questions. So I think that there's still a lot of hope in that, even if even if the media goes for the jugular, the American people will still see that the rudeness, if it comes across with the media, and sympathize with Republican candidates who respectfully disagree with them and go on the offensive when asked unreasonable questions.
Let me ask you this question. I've got a minute left, Casey. Make your answer fairly short if you could. Looking at the candidates and the possible candidates that might run on the Republican Party, to the Democrats, it seems like they're already going to award her the throne, and that's Hillary Clinton. But who are the younger people excited about maybe running for president on the Republican side? Who is generating the most enthusiasm?
So I would say that Ted Cruz is a good candidate, but by far the most enthusiastic that young people are excited about is Rand Paul. I mean, we already saw it just right after his announcement. There were 10 karaoke events all across the United States run by his grassroots campaign. So Rand Paul is definitely the younger generation of liberty lovers' choice.
All right. Casey, you're an extremely sharp young man, and I hope you'll come back, and I'll do another full segment with you, hopefully this next week sometime. But I mean this when I say this. God's blessings to you for sharing this time with us this morning on my program.
Thanks so much, Zeb. It's always a pleasure to be here with you.
All right. Take care, my friend. Thank you. There is one of the sharpest young men I've had on my program, and that's Casey Givens, the director with Young Voices, and I've got a lot of respect for him. He does a really, really good job. Right now, I want to remind you about a great big spring tire sale that's going on at your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. Oh, do you need tires? Yes, you do. And take a look at those old bald tires of yours and then say, yep, we're going to go in today and check out for our car the Eclipse tire, the all-season traction tire, advanced design tread on sale right now. And for the pickups and SUVs, don't forget the Open Country AT2 outstanding traction, long-lasting tread. Well, at your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, they've got the best tire value promise in the industry. With every passenger car and light truck purchase, peace of mind tire protection and lifetime tire and mileage care. Convenient credit for tires and services. And don't forget, they've got the best in front end alignment, shocks and struts, batteries, and outstanding brake service. You better believe it. With Lane and Rupert, Dave on Blue Lakes and Twin, Mike and Buell, Mike and Jerome, the Twist family in Paul, John on Poline in Twin Falls, and Randy on Overland in Burley. your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. You stop in and see the very best today. That is going to wrap it up for me this week. Wheels over at the station, great job today. And next week, we've got a full plate. We're going to have, during the course of the week, the Idaho Fish and Game Report. We're going to have United States Senator Mike Crapo on the air. We're going to have Dave Bigo, and we're going to have many, many other very pertinent and important guests that are on various topics around the nation. So tune us in. We'll be back here in the saddle again next Monday at 8:06 and ride for 3 hours from 8 to 11. Now, you can get us K-Bar 1230 a.m. and then also streaming all over the world on ZebBell.com. And we welcome your listenership and your calls. So, we're going to terminate this for today, and we're going to go enjoy the rest of a Thursday and have lunch. I extend God's blessings to you. Have a great weekend. We'll see you next Monday. Zeb at the Ranch, the way things were are the way things ought to be.